Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, this is Movie Readings, where I take entire Hollywood scripts and read them from start to finish right here on YouTube. Sometimes these take hours to make, so it could really help me out if you would hit the like button and subscribe below for more movie readings. If you have a suggestion, you know what to do. Okay guys, enjoy Taxi Driver from 1976. The whole conviction of my life now rests upon the belief that loneliness, far from being a rare and curious phenomenon, is the central and inevitable fact of human existence. Thomas Wolfe, God's Lonely Man. Travis Bickle, age 26, lean, hard, the consummate loner. On the surface, he appears good-looking, even handsome. He has a quiet, steady look and a disarming smile, which flashes from nowhere, lighting up his whole face. But behind that smile, around his dark eyes, in his gaunt cheeks, one can see the ominous stains caused by a life of private fear, emptiness, and loneliness. He seems to have wandered in from a land where it is always cold, a country where the inhabitants seldom speak. The head moves, the expression changes, but the eyes remain ever fixed, unblinking, piercing empty space. Travis is now drifting in and out of New York City nightlife, a dark shadow among darker shadows. Not noticed, no reason to be noticed. Travis is one with his surroundings. He wears rider jeans, cowboy boots, a plaid western shirt, and a worn beige army jacket with a patch reading King Kong Company, 1968-70. He has the smell of sex about him, sick sex, repressed sex, lonely sex, but sex nonetheless. He is a raw male force driving forward. Toward what, one cannot tell. Then one looks closer and sees the inevitable. The clock sprig cannot be wound continually tighter. As the earth moves toward the sun, Travis Bickle moves toward violence. The film opens on the exterior of Manhattan cab garage. Weather-beaten sign above driveway reads, "Taxi enter here." Yellow cabs scuttle in and out. It is winter and snow is piled on the curb. The wind is howling. Inside garage are parked row upon row of multicolored taxis. Echoing sounds of cabs idling and cabbies talking. Steamy breath and exhaust fill the air. In a corridor of cab company offices, lettering on the ajar door reads, "Personal Office, Marvis Cab Company Blue and White Cab Co. Acme Taxi Dependable Taxi Services, JRB Cab Company Speedo Taxi Service." We hear the sound of office busywork, shuffling, typing, arguing. Personal office is a cluttered disarray. Sheets with heading Marvis, B&W, Acme, and so forth are tacked to crumbling plaster wall. It is March. The desk is cluttered with forms, reports, and an old upright Royal typewriter. Disheveled middle-aged New Yorker looks up from the desk. We cut in to ongoing conversation between the middle-aged personnel officer and a young man standing in front of his desk. The young man is Travis Bickle. He wears his jeans, boots, and army jacket. He takes a drag off his unfiltered cigarette. The personnel officer is beat and exhausted. He arrives at work exhausted. Travis is something else again. His intense steel gaze is enough to jar even the personnel officer out of his workday boredom. "No problem with the hack bureau?" "No, sir." "Got your license?" "Yes." "So why do you want to be a taxi driver?" "I can't sleep nights." "There's porno theaters for that." "I know, I tried that." The personnel officer, though officious, is mildly probing and curious. Travis is a cipher, cold and distant. He speaks as if his mind doesn't know what his mouth is saying. "So, What do you do now? I ride around nights mostly. Subways, buses, see things. Figure I might as well get paid for it. I don't need any misfits around here, son. A thin smile cracks almost indiscernibly across Travis's lips. You kiddin'? Who else would hack through South Bronx or Harlem at night? You want to work uptown nights? I'll work anywhere, anytime. I know I can't be choosy. The personnel officer thinks for a moment. How's your driving record? Clean. Real clean. A pause, then a thin smile. As clean as my conscience. Listen, son. You gonna get smart? You can leave right now. Sorry, sir. I didn't mean that. Physical? Criminal? Also clean. Age? 26. Education? Some, here and there. Military record? Honorable discharge, May 1971. You moonlightin'? No, I want long shifts. Casually, almost to himself, we hire a lot of moonlighters here. So I hear. He looks up at Travis. Hell, we ain't that much fussy anyway. There's always opening in one fleet or another. He rummages through his drawer, collecting various pink and yellow and white forms. Fill out these forms and give them to the girl at the desk. Leave your phone number. You got a phone? No. Well, then check back tomorrow. Yes, sir. Credits appear over scenes from Manhattan nightlife. The snow has melted. It is spring. A rainy, slick, wet, miserable night in Manhattan's theater district. Cabs and umbrellas are congested everywhere. Well-dressed pedestrians are pushing, running, waving down taxis. The high-class theater patrons crowding out of the midtown shows are shocked to find that the same rain that falls on the poor and common is also falling on them. The unremitting sounds of honking and shouting play against the dull pitter-patter of rain. The glare of yellow, red, and green lights reflects off the pavement and the autos. When it rains, the boss of the city is the taxi driver. So goes the cabbie's maxim, proven true by this particular night's activity. Only the taxi seems to rise above the situation. They glide effortlessly through the rain and traffic, picking up whom they choose and going where they please. Further uptown, the crowds are neither so frantic nor so glittering. The rain also falls on the street bums and aged poor. Junkies still stand around on rainy street corners. Hookers still prowl rainy sidewalks. And the taxis service them too. All through the credits, the exterior sounds are muted, as if coming from a distant room or storefront around the corner. The listener is at a safe but privileged distance. After examining various strata of Manhattan nightlife, the camera begins to close on one particular taxi. It is assumed that this taxi is being driven by Travis Bickle. As the credits end, Travis's yellow taxi pulls in the foreground. On the left rear door are lettered the words, "Dependable Taxi Service." We are somewhere on the upper 50s on Fifth Ave. The rain has not let up. An elderly woman climbs in the right rear door, crushing her umbrella. Travis waits a moment, then pulls away from the curb with a start. Later we see Travis' taxi speeding down the rain-slicked avenue. The action is periodically accompanied by Travis's narration. He's reading from a haphazard personal diary. April 10th, 1972. Thank God for the rain, which has helped wash the garbage and trash off the sidewalks. Travis's point of view of sleazy midtown side street, bums, hookers, and junkies. I'm working a single now, which means stretch shifts, 6 to 6, sometimes 6 to 8 in the AM, 6 days a week. A man in business suit hails Travis to the curb. It's a hustle, but it keeps me busy. I can take in $3 to $3.50 a week, more with skims. The man in the business suit, now seated in the back seat, speaks up. Is Kennedy operating, cabby? Is it grounded? On the seat next to Travis is a half-eaten cheeseburger and an order of French fries. He puts his cigarette down and gulps as he answers. Why should it be grounded? Listen, I just saw the needle of the Empire State Building. You can't see it for the fog. Then it's a good guess it's grounded. The Empire State and fog means something, doesn't it? Do you know or don't you? What is your number, cabby? Have you tried the telephone? The man is hostile and impatient. There's no time for that. In other words, you don't know. No. Well, you should know, damn it. Or who else would know? Pull over, right there. He points out the window. Why don't you stick your goddamn head out the goddamn window once in a while and find out about the goddamn fog? Travis pulls to the curb. The businessman stuffs a dollar bill into the pay drawer and jumps out of the cab. He turns to hail another taxi. Taxi! Taxi! Travis writes up his trip card and drives away. Later that night, the rain has turned to drizzle. Travis drives through another section of Manhattan. I work the whole city up, down, doesn't make no difference to me. Does to some. Travis's point of view street side. A black prostitute wearing white vinyl boots, leopard skin miniskirt, and blonde wig hails a taxi. On her arm hangs a half-drunk, seedy executive type. Travis pulls over. The prostitute and John climb into the back seat. Travis checks out the action in the rearview mirror. Some won't take spooks. Hell, don't make no difference to me. Travis' taxi drives through Central Park. Grunts and groans come from the back seat. Hooker and John going at it. He's having a hard time. She's probably trying to get him to come off manually. Oh, baby, baby. The prostitute, forceful. Come on. Travis stares blankly ahead. In Travis's apartment, the camera pans silently across the room, indicating this is not a new scene. Travis is sitting at a plain table writing. He wears a shirt, jeans, and boots. An unfiltered cigarette rests in a bent coffee can ashtray. Close-up of the notebook. It's a plain-lined dime store notebook. The words Travis are writing with a stubby pencil are those that he is saying. The columns are straight and disciplined. Some of the writing is in pencil and some in ink. The handwriting is jagged. The camera continues to pan, examining Travis's apartment. It is unusual to say the least. A ratty old mattress is thrown against one wall. The floor is littered with old papers, worn and unfolded street maps, and pornography. The porn is the sort that looks cheap but costs $10. Black and white photos of naked women, tied and gagged with black leather straps and clotheslines. There is no furniture, other than the rickety chair and table. A beat-up portable TV rests on an upright melon crate. The red silk mass in another corner looks like a Vietnamese flag. Indecipherable words, figures, numbers, are scribbled on the plain plaster walls. Ragged black wires dangle from the wall, where the telephone once hung. They're all animals anyway. All the animals come out at night. Whores, skunk pussies, buggers, queens, fairies, dopers, junkies, sick, venal. Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets. It's early morning, 6 a.m. The air is clean and fresh, and the streets nearly deserted. Travis's taxi pulls into the driveway. Each night when I return the cab to the garage, I have to clean the cum off the back seat. Some nights, I clean off the blood. Travis pulls his taxi into the garage. Travis reaches across the cab and extracts a small vial of bennies from the glove compartment. Travis stands next to the cab, straightens his back, and tucks the bottle of pills into his jacket pocket. He lowers his head, looks into the back seat, opens the rear door, and bends inside. He shakes a cigarette out of his pack of Camels and lights it. Travis books it at garage office. Old rotting slabs of wood are screwed to a gray, crumbling concrete wall. Each available space is covered with hand-lettered signs, time schedules, checkout sheets, and memos. The signs read, "Be alert. The safe driver is always ready for the unexpected. Slow down. Gauge speed to road conditions. You can't stop on a dime. All night drivers having personal injury accidents must phone in at once to Judson 23410. And must file a report promptly at 9 a.m. the following morning at 43 West 61st. A half-dozen haggard cabbies hang around the office. Their shirts are wrinkled, their heads dropping, the mouths incessantly chattering. We pick up snatches of cabbie small talk. Had a piss like a bull steer, so I pull over on 10th Ave, yank up the hood, and do the engine job. Gestures as if taking a piss into the hood. So there I am, with my dong in my hand, when a guy comes up and asks if I need any help. Just checking the battery, I says, and meanwhile, he's taking an imaginary piss. If he thinks I'm going up into the jungle this time of night, he can shove it. The third cabbie, talking into the payphone. Fuck that. Violet's first. Fucking saddle horse. No, the OTB. Fuck them. No, it was TCR, and I'd make $7,000. Fuck him too. Alright, what about the second race? Over at Love, this hooker took on the whole garage. Blew the whole fucking joint. They wouldn't even let her use the drinking fountain. Travis hands his trip sheet to a cab official. He nods slightly, turns, and walks toward the door. Outside, Travis walks pleasantly down Broadway, his hand in his jacket pockets. The sidewalks are deserted, except for diligent fruit and vegetable vendors setting up their stalls. He takes a deep breath of fresh air and pulls a white pill from his pocket. He pops it into his mouth. Travis turns a corner and keeps walking. Ahead of him is a 24-hour porno theater. The theater, a blaze of cheap day-glow reds and yellows, is an offense to the clear, crisp morning air. The permanent lettering reads, Atom Theater 16 mil. Sound features. Underneath, tonight's features are hand-lettered, 6-Day Cruise, and Beaver Dam. Travis stops at the box office, purchases a ticket, and walks in. Travis stands in the aisle of the theater for a moment. He turns around, walking back toward the concession stand. A plain, dumpy-looking girl sits listlessly on a stool behind the shabby concession stand. A plaster of Paris Venue de Milo sits atop a piece of purple velvet cloth on the counter. The sound of the feature drones in the background. Can I help you? Travis rests his elbow on the counter, looking at the girl. He is obviously trying to be friendly. No easy task for him. God knows he needs a friend. What is your name? My name's Travis. Aw, come off it, pal. No, I'm serious, really. You want me to call my boss, huh? That what you want? No, it's alright. I'll have a big Coca-Cola without ice, and a large buttered popcorn, and some of them chocolate-covered malted milk balls, and Jujukes, a box, 'cause they last. We don't have Jujukes, and we don't have Coca-Cola. We only got Royal Crown Cola. That's fine. That's $1.47. Travis lays $2 bills on the counter. A slight time cut to Travis sitting in the theater drinking his Royal Crown Cola, eating his popcorn and milk balls. His eyes are fixed on the screen. A male voice emanates from the screen. Come here, bitch. I'm gonna split you in half. The male voice yields to Travis's monotone narration. 12 hours of work, and I still cannot sleep. The days dwindle on forever and do not end. The headquarters of the New Yorkers for Charles Palantine for President Committee. Located at the corner of 50th Street and Broadway, are festooned in traditional red, white, and blue banners, ribbons, and signs. One large sign proclaims, Palantine. Another sign reads, Register for New York Primary, July 20. The smiling middle-aged face of Charles Palantine keeps watching over the bustling pedestrians. It is late afternoon. Inside the headquarters, a variety of young workers joke and chatter as they labor through stacks of paper. The room is pierced with the sound of ringing phones. Seen from a distance, the only way Travis can see them, those are America's chosen youth, healthy, energetic, well-groomed, attractive, all recruited from the bucolic fields of Massachusetts and Connecticut. Camera favors Betsy, about 25, an extremely attractive woman sitting at the reception desk between two phones and several stacks of paper. Her attractions, however, are more than skin deep. Beneath that cover girl facial, there is a keen, though highly specialized, sensibility. Her eyes scan every man who passes her desk, as her mind computes her desirability, political, intellectual, sexual, emotional, and material. Simple poise and status do not impress her. She seeks out the extraordinary qualities in men. She is, in other words, star fucker of the highest order. Betsy, putting down the phone, calls Tom, a lanky, amiable, and modishly long-haired campaign worker, over to her desk. Tom? Tom is pleasant and good-looking, but lacks those special qualities which interest Betsy. He gets nowhere with her, yet he keeps trying. Just another of those routine office flirtations which pass the hours and free the fantasies. Tom, come here a moment. He walks over. I think this canvas report is about ready to go out. Check it out with Andy, and if he okays it, have a copy made for the campaign headquarters in every county. A beat. And don't forget to add the new photo releases. The senator's white paper is almost ready, Bets. Should we wait for that? Andy usually just sends those to the national media. The local press doesn't know what to do with a position paper until UPI and AP tell them anyway. I think we should try to get maximum coverage for this new mandatory welfare program. Push the issues. As if instructing a child. First, push the man, then the issue. Senator Palantine is first of all a dynamic man, an intelligent, interesting, fascinating man. You forgot sexy. No, I didn't forget sexy. Just didn't get around to it, huh? Oh, Tom, please. Well, for Christ's sakes, you sound like you're selling, I don't know what, cars, not issues. Have you ever wondered why CBS News has the highest ratings? More people watch it? Alright, forget it if you're not going to be serious. No, come on, I'm listening. I was just what? Kidding around, fun. Betsy looks toward the street, then back to Tom. Maybe if you try thinking once in a while, you'd get somewhere. With who? Alright now, you want to know why CBS has the highest ratings? You think their news is any different from NBC or ABC? It's all the same news, same story, same order usually. What, you thought they had good news people, right? You thought that's why people watch CBS? I'll tell you why people watch CBS. Cronkite, the man. You got it? Not the news, not the issues, the man. If Walter Cronkite told people to eat soap, they would do it. We are selling cars, goddammit. Betsy's attention is being distracted by something she sees across the street. She puts on her glasses and looks out across the street again. Well, if Cronkite's so great, why don't we run him instead? That's the finish, period. Some people can learn, some people can't. And you wonder why we never get serious. Sure, we could run him. You realize he's already head of his block association. Betsy looks across the street again. Have you been noticing anything strange? No, why? Why has that taxi driver across the street been staring at us? What taxi driver? That taxi driver. The one that's been sitting there. How long has he been there? I don't know, but it feels like a long time. Travis's cold, piercing eyes stare out from his cab, parked across the street from Palatine headquarters. He's like a lone wolf watching the warm campfires of civilization from a distance. A thin red dot glows from his cigarette. Tom exchanges Travis's gaze. "Well, I'll go out and ask him." As Tom walks toward the front door, Betsy's eyes alternate between him and the position where Travis sits. Tom strides out the front door and walks briskly across the street towards Travis's taxi. Travis spots Tom walking toward him and quickly starts up his cab, then squeals off in a burst of billowing exhaust. Tom watches the speeding taxi quizzically. Travis's taxi continues down Broadway. Travis lies on his mattress, staring at the ceiling. He is fully clothed and appears deep in thought. Near his mattress rests several medications, a large bottle of vitamins, 2 smaller bottles of pills, a bottle of peach-flavored brandy. All my life needed was a sense of direction, a sense of some place to go. I do not believe one should devote his life to morbid self-attention, but should become a person, like other people. Travis's taxi is driving down Broadway with the off-duty sign on. A point-of-view shot tracking down Broadway. The camera stops at Palatine campaign headquarters. A few workers remain in the office. Betsy's desk is vacant. The camera tracks through crowded masses of Manhattanites as they ooze through the sidewalks toward their various destinations. The individuals are indiscernible. It is simply a congested mass. I first saw her at Palatine campaign headquarters at 58th and Broadway. She was wearing a yellow dress, answering the phone at her desk. Suddenly, cut of the congested human mass in slow motion, appears the slender figure of Betsy in a stylish yellow dress. The crowd parts like the Red Sea, and there she is, walking all alone, untouched by the crowd, suspended in space and time. She appeared like an angel out of this open sewer, out of this filthy mass. She is alone. They cannot touch her. Travis is at the table in his apartment, writing in his diary. His stubby pencil rests on the word, her. It's 3:30 in the morning, in a bacon-shaped, all-night West Side restaurant. The thick smell hangs in the air of fried grease, smoke, sweat, and regurgitated wine. Whatever doesn't flush away in New York at night turns up in places like this. A burly, grease-stained cook stands over the grill. A junkie shuffles from one side of the door to the other. Slouched over the small 4-person Formica tables are several well-dressed blacks, too well-dressed for this time and place, a cluster of street people, and a lost old coot who hangs onto his cup of coffee as if it were his last possession. The restaurant, brightly lit, perfectly conveys the image urban plasticity, without the slightest hint of an accompanying cleanliness. Toward the rear of the restaurant sits 3 cabbies. Wizard, a worn man about 50. Doughboy, younger family man. Charlie T, 40-ish, black. Wizard is telling Doughboy a story. Charlie T, his elbows propped against the tabletop, is not listening. He stares silently down at a plate of cold scrambled eggs and a racing for him. His eyes may not be open. First she did her makeup. You know I hate when they do that. I mean, she does the whole works. The mascara, the eyeshadow, the lipstick, the rouge. Not the rouge. Blush on, they call it. Yeah, the kind with the brush. Travis appears at the door. He has to push aside the junkies to enter without making physical contact, something Travis would not relish. He may be repulsed with these people in this place, but he's too much of a part of this to let his feelings rise to the surface. Wizard gives Travis a perfunctory wave. Travis! Hey, Wizard. Travis straddles a seat at the table. Doughboy gives Travis something between a wink and an eye twitch, saying, Yeah, that's blush on. My wife uses it. Wizard, ironically, Ask Travis. He's the ladies' man. Travis shrugs and motions for a cup of coffee. Well, whatever the fuck it is, she used it. And then the spray perfume. You know, the real sweet kind. And on top of that, get this, right when we're crossing the Triborough Bridge, she changes her pantyhose. No. Travis turns his head. He appears not to be interested, but is. Yeah. Could you see anything? Well, she was trying to keep her skirt down, sort of, you know, but it was pretty obvious what she was doing. I mean, Christ, it was rush hour and the traffic is practically standing still. What did you do? Threw on the emergency, jumped the seat and fucked her brains out. What do you think? They laugh. What do I have to do? Draw you a picture? Yeah. What was I supposed to do? I was watching in the rear view, you know? Just checking the traffic. To Travis. So how is it? Travis, without inflection. Some fleet driver for Bell just got cut up. Heard it on the radio. Stick up? A waitress brings Travis's coffee and a glass of water. He asks for a cheeseburger. Sure, what do you think? She wanted to get out of the cab. I said, look, you're in the middle of the fucking bridge. You said that? Well, I said, lady, please, we're on a bridge. And what happened? Travis awaits Wizard's answer. She stayed in the cab. What's she gonna do? But she stiffed me. A real skunk. Yeah, a real skunk. Wizard realizes Travis and Doughboy may not have met. Wizard, in a paternal manner. Travis, you know Doughboy. Charlie T? Charlie T nods sleepily. Travis indicates he knows Doughboy. Yeah, we went to Harvard together. He laughs. We call him Doughboy because he likes the dollars. He'll chase a buck straight into Jersey. Look who's talking. He gestures around the table. Who else would stay up all night to catch the morning rush hour? Travis sips his coffee. Charlie T's eyelids slip shut. So, how is it? Travis, again without inflection. Some fleet driver for Bell, he just got cut up. I heard it on the radio. Stick up? No, just some crazy fucker. Cut half his ear off. Where? In the jungle, 122nd. Travis's eyes turn toward the restaurant's other patrons. 3 street people sitting at a table. One guy, stoned, stares straight ahead. A ragged, attractive girl rests her head on the shoulder of another. A heavily bearded young man with a headband. They kiss and tease each other, momentarily lost in their separate world. Travis watches this hippie couple closely, his feelings sharply divided between cultural contempt and morose jealousy. Why should these people enjoy the love and intimacy that has always eluded him? He must enjoy these schizoid emotions because his eyes dwell on the couple. Doughboy changes the subject. You run all over town, don't you, Travis? Wizard, referring to 122nd Street. Fucking Mau Mau Island, that's what it is. Travis turns back to his companions. Huh? I mean, you handle some pretty rough traffic, huh? Travis, catching on. Yeah, I have. You carry a piece? You need one? Nah, I suppose not. A waitress slaps down smudge-marked glasses of water and a cheeseburger plate that looks more like a sunken head on a serving platter. Well, you ever need one, I know a fella that can get you a real nice deal. Lots of shit around. The cops and company raise hell if they find out. Travis drops 2 Alka-Seltzer into his glass of water. Truck drivers bring up Harlem specials that blow up in your hand. But this guy don't deal no shit. Just quality. If you ever need anything, I can put you in touch. For a fee. For a fee. I never use mine, but it's a good thing to have, just as a threat. Doughboy gets up. Well, if there's this many hackies inside, there must be lots of hares outside. And I'm gonna hustle 'em. So what are you gonna do with all that money, Doughboy? Support my kids. Can you dig it? Hey, nice to meet you, Travis. So long, Wizard. Say hello to Malcolm X for me. He nods to Charlie T, but Charlie T remains unmoved. He is clearly sleeping. Doughboy exits, and Travis smiles perfunctorily, then looks back at Wizard. They really don't have much to talk about, and the Wizard doesn't care to manufacture any more conversations. Travis scans the greasy spoon. The scene is unchanged. Traffic passes the Palatine headquarters on another day. Tom and Betsy are talking. She takes out a cigarette. He takes out matches to light it. Try holding the match like this. This is gonna be a game, right? Betsy putting on glasses. This I gotta see. Tom burning his fingers. Ouch! Betsy giggles. Oh, are you alright? I'm great. Always set my fingers on fire. If you want to see another trick, I do this thing with my nose. No, I just wanted to see if you could light it that way. The guy at the newsstand can. Ah, yes, the guy at the newsstand, Mr. Asbestos. He happens to be missing fingers. I first noticed when... Is he Italian? No, why? You sure he's not Italian? He's black, okay? Well, if he had been Italian, they could have been shot off. Sometimes the mob does that to teach guys a lesson, or if they blow a job or something. As I said, he isn't Italian. Besides, I thought they just killed them. Don't be naive, they can't kill everybody. They have different punishments for different things. Like, if they kill a stew pigeon, they leave a canary on the body. It's symbolic. Why don't they leave a pigeon instead of a canary? I don't know, maybe they don't leave a canary, don't be technical. What I'm saying is, if this newsstand guy is Italian and his fingers are gone, maybe he's a thief. First, he's not Italian. Second, he's not a thief. I noticed the fingers when he got my change, the right change. 2 of his fingers are missing, just stubs, like they were blown away. I was putting my change in my purse when I saw him get out a cigarette and I couldn't help watch. I was dying to see how he'd light it. With the other hand, right? No, stupid, with the stubs. That's the whole point. I know that guy. His hand looks like a paw. He's an old black guy, the newsstand at, No, this guy's young. Well, I'm not sure how old black people are, but anyway, he's old, that's for sure. Show me how he did it again. Travis is striding briskly along Broadway toward Palatine headquarters. He's dressed the best we have seen him. His pants, not jeans, are pressed, his boots shined, his hair combed. Under his army jacket, he wears a freshly laundered shirt and Ivy League tie. He drops his cigarette, steps on it, and walks in. Watching Travis enter Palatine headquarters, we are surprised to realize that Travis is really quite attractive. His deformities are psychological, not physical. He believes he is cursed, and therefore he is. Travis walks briskly into the office and heads toward Betsy's desk. Tom walks over to greet him, but Travis ignores him. At her desk. I want to volunteer. As the camera examines Travis's face more closely, one can see the hollowness wrought by lack of sleep and sufficient diet. Tom at Betsy's desk. If you'll come this way. Travis elbows Tom off. No, I want to volunteer to you. Tom under his voice. Bets. Betsy waves Tom off with a short gesture, indicating everything is okay. He walks away. And why is that? Travis is on his best behavior. He smiles slightly. Because you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Betsy is momentarily taken aback, but pleased. Travis's presence has a definite sexual charge. He has those star qualities Betsy is looking for. She senses there's something special about that young man who stands before her. Then, too, there is that disarming smile. He is, as Betsy would say, fascinating. Is that so? But what do you think of Charles Palatine? Who, ma'am? Obviously his mind is elsewhere. Charles Palatine, the man you want to volunteer to help elect president? Oh, I think he's a wonderful man. He'll make a great president. You want to canvass? Yes, ma'am. Betsy is interviewing Travis, but she's also teasing him a little. in a gentle, feminine sort of way. How do you feel about Senator Palentine's stand on welfare? This takes Travis back a bit. He obviously doesn't have the slightest idea what Palentine's stand on welfare is. In fact, he doesn't have any idea about politics whatsoever. Travis thinks for a moment and then improvises an answer. Welfare, ma'am? I think the senator's right. People should work for a living. I mean, I do. I like to work. Every day. Gets those old coots off welfare and makes them work for a change. Betsy does a subtle double take. This isn't exactly Palentine's position on welfare. She remains intrigued by Travis. Well, that's not exactly what the senator has proposed. You might not want to canvass, but there is plenty more work we need done, like office work, filing, poster hanging. I'm a good worker, Betsy, ma'am. A real good worker. Betsy gestures. If you talk to Tom, he'll assign you to something. If you don't mind, ma'am, I'd rather work for you. Well, we're all working tonight. Well, Betsy, ma'am, I drive a taxi at night. Well then, what is it you exactly want to do? Travis, bolstering his courage. If you don't mind, ma'am, I'd be mighty pleased if you'd go out and have some coffee and pie with me. Betsy doesn't quite know what to make of Travis. She's curious and intrigued and tantalized. Like a moth, she draws closer to the flame. Why? Well, Betsy, ma'am, I drive by this place here in my taxi many times a day, and I watch you sitting here at this big long desk with these telephones, and I say to myself, that's a lonely girl. She needs a friend, and I'm going to be her friend. Then he smiles. Travis rarely smiles, but when he does, his whole face glows. It's as if he's able to tap an inner reserve of charm unknown even to himself. Betsy is completely disarmed. I don't know. It's just to the corner, ma'am. In broad daylight. I mean, nothing can happen. I'll be there to protect you. Betsy smiles. All right, I'm taking a break at 4 o'clock. If you're here, we'll go to the corner and have some coffee and pie. Oh, I appreciate that, Betsy, ma'am. I'll be here at 4 o'clock exactly. And, Betsy? Yes? My name is Travis. Thank you, Travis. Travis nods and turns and exits. Tom, who has been watching this interchange with a pseudo-standoffish, actually jealous air, steps over to Betsy. His manner demands some sort of explanation of what Betsy is doing. Betsy simply shrugs. It's none of his business, and says, I'm just going to find out what the cabbies are thinking. Travis is pacing back and forth on Broadway, just beyond Palentine headquarters. He checks his watch. April 26, 1972, 4 o'clock p.m., I took Betsy to the Mayfair coffee shop on Broadway. Travis and Betsy are sitting in a booth of a small New York coffee shop. They both have been served coffee. Travis is nervously turning his cup around in his hands. As Travis speaks, the waitress brings their orders. Apple pie for Travis, fruit compote for Betsy. I had black coffee and apple pie, with a slice of melted yellow cheese. I think that was a good selection. Betsy had coffee and a fruit salad dish. She could have had anything she wanted. Betsy's conversation interrupts Travis's voiceover. We've signed up 15,000 Palentine volunteers in New York so far. The organizational problems are becoming just staggering. I know what you mean. I've got the same problems. I just can't get things organized. Little things, I mean, like my room, my possessions. I should get one of those signs that says, one of these days I'm gonna get organized. Travis contorts his mouth to match his pronunciation, then breaks into a big, friendly, infectious grin. The very sight of it makes one's heart proud. Betsy can't help but be caught up in Travis's grin. Travis's contagious, quicksilver mood. Travis, I've never met anyone like you before. I can believe that. Where do you live? Oh, uptown. Some joint. It ain't much. So why did you decide to drive a taxi at night? I had a regular job for a while, days, doing this and doing that, but I didn't have anything to do at night, and I got kind of lonely, just wandering around, so I decided to work nights. It ain't good to be alone. After this job, I'm looking forward to being alone for a while. Yeah, well, in a cab you get to meet people. You meet lots of people. It's good for you. What kind of people? Just people, just people. I had a dead man once. Really? He'd been shot. I didn't know that. He just crawled into the back seat and said West 45th Street, and then he conked out. What did you do? I shut the meter off, for one thing. I knew I wasn't going to get paid. Then I dropped him off at the cop shop, and they took him. That's really something. Oh, and you see lots of freaky stuff in the cab, especially when the moon is out. The moon? Yeah, the full moon. One night I had 3 or 4 weirdos in a row, and I looked up, and sure enough, it was a full moon. Betsy laughs, and Travis continues. Oh yeah, people do anything in front of a taxi driver. I mean anything. People too cheap to rent a hotel room, people scoring dope, people shooting up, people who want to embarrass you. A bitterness emerges. It's like you're not even there, not even a person, and nobody knows you. Betsy cuts Travis's bitterness short. Come on, Travis, it's not that bad. I take lots of taxis. I know, I could have picked you up. Huh? Late one night, about 3 at the plaza. 3 in the morning? I don't think so. I have to go to bed early. I work days. It must have been somebody else. No, it was you. You had some manila folders and a pink bag from Saks. Betsy, realizing Travis remembers her precisely, scrambles for a polite rationale for her behavior. Oh, now I remember. You're right. It was after the Western Regional Planners were in town and the meeting went late. The next day I was completely bushed. It was unbelievable. If it wasn't for a drunk, I would have picked you up. He wanted to go to the DMZ. The DMZ? South Bronx, the worst. I tried to ditch him, but he was already in the cab, so I had to take him. That's the law. Otherwise, I would have picked you up. That would have been quite a coincidence. You'd be surprised how often you see the same people and get the same fare. People have patterns. They do more or less the same things every day. I can tell. Well, I don't go to the plaza every night. I didn't mean you, but just ordinary people. A guy I know, Doughboy, he met his wife that way. They got to talking. She said she usually caught the bus, so he started picking her up at the bus stop and taking her home with the flag up. That's very romantic. Some of your fares must be interesting. See any stars, politicians? Deliver any babies yet? Well, no, not really. Had some famous people in the cab. Remembering. I got this guy who makes lasers. Not like regular lasers, not the big kind. Little lasers, pocket-sized, small enough to clip to your belt like a transistor radio. Like a gun, like a ray gun. Pachoo! Betsy laughs. What hours do you work? I work a single, which means there's no replacement. No second man on the cab. 6 to 6, sometimes 8, 72 hours a week. Amazed. You mean you work 72 hours a week? Sometimes 76 or 80. Sometimes I can squeeze a few more hours in the morning. 80 miles a day, 100 miles a night. You must be rich. His big, affectionate smile shows. It keeps you busy. You know what you remind me of? What? That song by Chris Christopherson, where it says, like a pusher, partly truth, partly fiction, a walking contradiction. She smiles. I'm no pusher, Betsy. Honest, I've never pushed. I didn't mean that, Travis. Just the part about the contradiction. He's more at ease. Oh, who is that again? The singer? Yeah, I don't follow music too much. Chris Christopherson. Travis looks at Betsy intently, and they exchange smiles. We cut to Travis, walking confusedly around Sam Goody's at midday, obviously unable to locate what he desires. Travis is lost among the hip, young, intellectual type that populate the store. He watches the stylish, attractive female help, unable to come right out and request what he desires. A young salesgirl sees his plight, walks over and asks if he needs any help. Travis inaudibly says a name to her, although the name is obviously Chris Christopherson. The salesgirl digs out Christopherson's Silver-Tongued Devil album for him. Travis says something additional to the salesgirl. She goes off to gift wrap the album. Travis emerges from the record store, the brightly gift-wrapped album proudly tucked under his arm. A lengthy POV shot from Travis's vantage point behind the wheel. We see the city as Travis sees it. The front windshield is a little dirty. The lighted meter just up at the low right screen. The intercom crackles with static and messages. The light turns green. We take off with a start. A short first gear, a quick shift, and a long second gear. The cab eases to the right of the street, checking out prospective fares. Our eyes scan the long lines of pedestrians, the regular bums, junkies, tourists, hookers, homosexuals, hippies. They mean nothing new. They only blend into the sidewalks and lighted storefronts. Our eyes now concentrate on those that step away from the curb. Is that man hailing a cab or scratching his head? In the next block, there are perhaps 3 or 4 fares. Quick gas up through this yellow light, brake sharply, check the action. The first, a tourist, nickel tipper. Let the next guy pick them up. Let the second go as well. Also the third. There's a live fare. Middle-aged local woman. Short fare to the east side. Good tip. We pull to the curb and wait for her to get in. It is a long wait. A black streetwalker crosses in front of the cab. We focus in, as Travis would, on a young couple, embracing in the distance. As we travel, we hear Travis's random thoughts about selecting fares and tips. You work at night, you get an instinct. You can smell them. The big tippers, the stiffs, the troublemakers. Quarter is a good tip for Manhattan. Queens is better. Brooklyn is best. Go for the guys with suitcases. The rich are the worst tippers. Hookers are lousy. Spooks are okay, but they don't live at Park Ave after all. The meter is activated. 60 cents registers. Tick, tick, tick. A quick glance shows the woman is now seated. She says softly, 192 East 89th. We take off with another jolt. Cross back up 9th Ave, then cut through the park. We are zooming up 9th Ave. How many green lights can we string together? Somebody steps out to hail the cab, but quickly steps back again. The meter is up to 90. It'll be a 140 fare. Now through the park, we're almost there. Check the numbers. 134 to 140. End of block. Fare, 140. Check back mirror. She's getting out 2 bills, 2 quarters, and dime change. Tip will either be 25 or 35. The tip comes back, 35. Good tip. Good lady. We take off again with a jolt. This is Travis's world. Dark side streets, garish, glaring main streets, quick glances, quicker evaluations, a dozen instantaneous decisions a minute. Are these people? Are these objects? Travis's taxi speeds down a darkened street. Travis lets off a fare and pulls into line at the plaza. I called Betsy again at her office, and she said maybe we could go to a movie together after she gets off work tomorrow. That's my day off. At first, she hesitated, but I called her again, and she agreed. Betsy. Betsy what? Oh, I forgot to ask her last name again. Damn. I've got to remember stuff like that. Travis's thoughts are with Betsy as 3 men enter Travis's cab. He activates the meter and pulls off. St. Regis's Hotel? Travis checks the mirror and scans across the back seat. He recognizes the middle passenger. It is Charles Palantine, candidate for president. He must have left the hotel shortly after Betsy. Tom, seated on the jump seat, checks his watch and speaks deferentially to Palantine. It's 12:30 now. You have 15 minutes before the actual luncheon begins. Palantine nods as his assistant picks up the thread of an earlier conversation. I don't think we have to worry about anybody here committing themselves until things start coming in from California. Travis recognizes his passenger. He pulls out a cigarette. He interrupts. Say, aren't you Charles Palantine, the candidate? Palantine, only mildly irritated. Yes, I am. Well, I'm one of your biggest supporters. I tell everybody that comes in this cab that they should vote for you. Palantine is pleased and glances to check Travis's license. Why, thank you, Travis. I'm sure you'll win, sir. Everybody I know is going to vote for you. I was going to put one of your stickers in the taxi, but the company said it was against their policy. Pleasantly. I'll tell you, Travis, I've learned more about this country sitting in taxi cabs than in boardrooms of General Motors. Tom joking. And in some other places, too. Palantine, his assistant, and Tom all laugh. Palantine, quickly resuming candidatorial mien, speaks to Travis. Travis, what single thing would you want the next president of this country to do most? I don't know, sir. I don't follow political issues much. There must be something. Travis thinks. Well, he should clean up this city here. It's full of filth and scum. Scum and filth. It's like an open sewer. I can hardly take it. Some days I go out and I smell it, and then I get headaches that just stay and never go away. We need a president that would clean up this whole mess. Flush it out. Palantine is not a Hubert Humphrey type professional bullshitter, and Travis's intense reply stops him dead in his tracks. He's forced to fall back on a stock answer, but tries to give it some meaning. After a short pause, I know what you mean, Travis. It's not going to be easy. We're going to have to make some radical changes. Travis turning the wheel. Damn straight. Travis's taxi pulls up in front of the Barclay Hotel. Palantine and his aide get out of the cab. The second aide stays in the back seat a moment to pay Travis. Palantine looks in the front window momentarily and nods goodbye to Travis. Nice talking to you, Travis. Calling back. Thank you, sir. You're a good man, sir. Travis's taxi departs. Palantine and aides walk up carpet to St. Regis. The camera closes in on Palantine as he stops, turns back, and watches Travis's departing taxi. Palantine turns back and ascends the hotel steps with his aides. Travis, dressed to the teeth, walks brightly down the sidewalk. His face is freshly shaved, his hair combed, his tie straightened. He pauses in a store window to check his appearance. Under his arm, he carries the gift-wrapped Christopherson record album. Betsy, smartly dressed, waves goodbye to another campaign worker and walks out the door to greet him. A short while later, Travis and Betsy are walking down Broadway toward Times Square. Betsy does not allow their bodies to touch as they walk, although Travis contemplates edging closer to her. Betsy has opened the package and is admiring the record, or rather, Travis' sentiment behind giving it. Travis looks around himself with pride. This is a moment in his life. One of the few. You didn't have to spend your money. Hell, what else can I do with it all? Betsy notices that the seal on the record has not been broken. Travis, you haven't even played the record? Travis, evasive. Well, my stereo player's broke, but I'm sure the record's okay. Your stereo broke? God, I could hardly stand that. I live on music. Nah, I don't follow music much. I think I'd like to, though. Honest. Betsy, pointing to the album. So you haven't heard this record yet? No. With a sly smile. I thought maybe you could play it for me on your player. Betsy's face backtracks a little. Maybe she was wrong to go out with this fellow that she doesn't know. She makes a polite laugh. Later, Travis and Betsy are in Times Square, turning the corner from Broadway to 42nd Street. Travis carries the album under his arm. They approach the garish marquee of the large midtown porno theater advertising the Swedish Marriage Manual. The box office is flanked on both sides by glass cages filled with explicit publicity stills. Offending portions have been blocked out with black tape. Travis steps over to the window and buys 2 $5 tickets. Betsy, befuddled, watches him. She doesn't know what to say. Travis returns with the tickets. Betsy, still not fully comprehending what is happening. "What are you doing?" Travis, innocent. "I bought a couple tickets." "But this is a porno movie." "No, these are the kind that couples go to. They're not like the other movies. All kinds of couples go. Honest, I've seen them." Travis seems confused. He's so much a part of his own world, he fails to comprehend another's. Compared to the movies he sees, this is respectable. But then there's also something that Travis could not even acknowledge, much less admit, that he really wants to get this pure white girl into that dark porno theater. Travis makes an awkward gesture to escort Betsy into the theater. Betsy looks at the tickets, at the theater, and at Travis. She mentally shakes her head and walks toward the turnstile. She thinks to herself, what the hell, what can happen? She's always been curious about these pictures. Anyways, like all women, no matter how intelligent, she's been raised not to offend her date. A perverse logic which applies even more in offsetting circumstances like these. Travis escorts Betsy to an empty center row. Travis was right. Couples do go to films like this. There are at least 6 or 7 other men with their bewigged dates. Travis settles into his familiar porno theater slouch, and Betsy looks curiously from side to side. On screen, a conservatively dressed middle-aged woman is speaking in Swedish about the importance of a healthy sex life in a happy marriage. Subtitles translate her words. Then, without warning, there's a direct cut to a couple copulating on a sterile table-like bed. Travis watches intently. The color, however, is slowly draining from Betsy's cheeks. One thought fills her mind. What am I doing here? Travis to himself. Damn. What's wrong? I forgot to get the Coca-Cola. That does it. Betsy just looks at him for a moment and then gets up and starts to leave. Travis, confused, hustles after her. He follows her out of the theater, but Travis catches up with her on the sidewalk. Where are you going? I'm leaving. What do you mean? Betsy looks at Travis, trying to understand him. These are not the kind of movies I go to. Well, I don't follow movies too much. You mean these are the only kind of movies you go to? The ticket girl watches expressionlessly from the booth. This is sort of high class. I mean porno movies. Well, mostly. My God. We can go to another movie if you like. I don't care. I got money. There's plenty of... Travis gestures toward the long row of 42nd Street marquees, but is interrupted by Betsy. If you just wanted to fuck, why didn't you just come right out and say it? Travis is flabbergasted by Betsy's blunt language. His arm still gestures toward the marquee. His lips continue to move, but words do not come out. Unable to respond to Betsy's question, Travis picks up where he left off. There's plenty of movies around here. I haven't seen any of them, but I'm sure they're good. No, Travis. You're a sweet guy and all that, but I think this is it. I'm going home. He interrupts her. You mean you don't want to go to a movie? There's plenty of movies around here. No, I don't feel so good. We're just 2 different kinds of people, that's all. Travis is puzzled. Huh? It's very simple. You go your way, I'll go mine. Thanks anyway, Travis. But Betsy... I'm getting a taxi. She walks to the curb and Travis follows her. What about the record? Keep it. Can I call you? Betsy looks for a cab. Please, Betsy, I bought it for you. Betsy looks at his sad, sweet face and relents a bit. All right, I'll accept the record. Betsy accepts the record, but quickly turns and hails a taxi. "Taxi!" A taxi quickly pulls up. Travis feebly protests to no one in particular. "But I got a taxi." Betsy gives instructions to cab driver, looks briefly back at Travis and then straight ahead. The taxi speeds off. Travis looks around helplessly. A cluster of pedestrians on the crowded street has stopped to watch the argument. Travis looks back at the woman in the porno theater box office who has also been following the argument. We cut to Travis sitting at the table of his apartment. There are some new items on the table. His giant econo-sized bottle of vitamins, a giant econo-sized bottle of aspirins, a pint of apricot brandy, a partial loaf of cheap white bread. On the wall behind the table hang two more items. A gag sign saying, "One of these days I'm gonna get organized," and an orange and black bumper sticker for Charles Palantine. May 8th, 1972. My life has taken another turn again. The days move along with regularity. We insert with a close-up of the notebook. Travis is no longer sitting at his desk. The pencil rests on the open book. Later that day, Travis has pulled his straight-backed chair around and is watching his small portable TV, which rests on the upright melon crate. A cereal bowl partially filled with milk rests in his lap. Travis pours a couple of shots of apricot brandy into the bowl, dips folded chunks of white bread into the mixture, and eats them. Travis is watching early evening news program. TV background sound. Charles Palantine is being interviewed somewhere on the campaign trail. One day, indistinguishable from the next, a long continuous chain, and then suddenly, there is a change. Betsy is walking down a midtown street when Travis suddenly appears before her. He has been waiting. Travis tries to make conversation, but she doesn't listen. She motions for him to go away and keeps on walking. Travis, protesting, follows. Travis speaks intensely into a wall payphone. I tried to call her several times. We hear Travis's voice on the phone. Travis while smoking a cigarette. "You feeling better? You said you didn't feel so good." But after the first call, she would no longer come to the phone. Travis holds the receiver in his hand. The other party has hung up. A tracking shot across the interior lower wall of Travis's apartment. Against the stark wall, there's a row of wilted and dying floral arrangements. Each one of the 4 or 5 bouquets is progressively more wilted than the one closer to the door. They have been returned. I also sent flowers with no luck. I should not dwell on such things, but set them behind me. The smell of the flowers only made me sicker. The headaches got worse. I think I've got stomach cancer. I should not complain, though. You're only as healthy as you feel. A drama is acted out at Palantine headquarters. Travis, groggy and red-eyed from lack of sleep, walks into the campaign headquarters about noontime. Betsy is standing near the rear of the office. She ducks from sight when she sees Travis enter. Travis's path is cut short by Tom's large-framed body. There is no live sound. I realize now how much she is like the others, so cold and distant. Many people are like that. They're like a union. Travis tries to push his way past Tom, but Tom grabs him. Travis says something sharply to Tom, and the two scuffle. Tom, by far the taller and stronger, quickly overcomes Travis, wrenching his arm behind his back. Travis kicks and protests as Tom leads him to the front door. Travis's efforts quickly subside when Tom motions to a nearby policeman. Travis quiets down and walks off. Travis is again making his way through the garish urban night. He stops for a passenger on Park Ave. A middle-aging, professorial executive. Close up on Travis, his face is expressionless. The man makes himself comfortable in the back seat. Jackson Heights. Travis has no intention of driving out to Jackson Heights and coming back with a fare. I'm off duty. You mean you don't want to go out to Jackson Heights? No, I'm off duty. Then how come your off-duty light wasn't on? Travis switches on the off-duty light. It was on. He gestures toward the top of the taxi. It just takes a while to warm up, like a TV. Travis doesn't budge. The professional passenger curses to himself and exits the cab. Travis takes off. Travis's eyes dwell on the young hip couples coming out of an East Side movie house. Later that night, Travis pulls over for a young mid-20s man wearing a leather sports jacket. Travis eyes his passenger in rearview mirror. 471 Central Park West. Travis's taxi speeds off. Later, Travis's taxi slows down as it approaches 400 block of Central Park West. Travis checks apartment numbers. Just pull over to the curb a moment. Travis turns the wheel. Yeah, that's fine. Just sit here. Travis waits impassively. The motor ticks away. After a long pause, the passenger speaks. Hey, cabbie, you see that light up there on the 7th floor? 3 windows from the side of the building? The camera closes in on 417 Central Park West, tracking up to the 7th floor. It moves 3 windows to the right. Yeah? A young woman wearing a slip crosses in front of the light. You see that woman there? Yeah? That's my wife. But it ain't my apartment. A nigger lives there. She left me 2 weeks ago. It took me this long to find out where she went. I'm gonna kill her. A close-up of Travis's face, which is devoid of expression. What do you think of that, cabbie? The young passenger's face is gaunt and drained of blood, full of fear and anger. Travis does not respond. Huh? What do you think of that, huh? Travis shrugs, gesturing toward the meter. I'm gonna kill her, with a .44 Magnum pistol. The camera turns to the 7th floor window. A woman is standing in the light. Did you ever see what a .44 can do to a woman's face, cabbie? Did you ever see what it can do to a woman's pussy, cabbie? Travis says nothing. I'm gonna put it right up to her, cabbie. Right in her, cabbie. You must think I'm real sick, huh? A real pervert, sitting here talking about a woman's pussy and a .44, huh? The camera closes in on Travis's face. He's watching the woman on the 7th floor window with complete and total absorption. It's the same glazed-over stare we saw in his eyes as he watched the porno movie. Travis stands near the corner wearing his boots, jeans, western shirt, and army jacket. He pulls his aspirin bottle out of his pocket, shakes 3 or 4 into his palm and pops them in his mouth, and then chews. An off-duty taxi pulls up to the curb and Travis gets in. Inside the taxi, Doughboy leans back from the wheel and greets Travis as he enters. Hey, Travis, this here's Easy Andy. He's a traveling salesman. In the back seat beside Travis sits Andy, an attractive young man about 29. He wears a pinstriped suit, white shirt, and a floral tie. His hair is modishly long. Hello, Travis. Travis nods as the taxi speeds off. Doughboy slows down near an economy hotel. Not a flophouse, but not too fancy that they care what the guests do in the privacy of their rooms. This is fine, Doughboy. To Travis. Pay Doughboy here. Travis pulls a 20 out of his pocket and gives it to Doughboy. $20? Yeah, hey thanks, that's real nice, Travis. Travis and Andy get out of the cab and walk toward the motel. Doughboy pulls away. As they enter the hotel, they pass a junkie, stoned out and spread-eagled across the hood of a derelict old blue Dodge. Travis follows Andy up the worn carpeted stairs, down the hallway. Andy unlocks the door to one of the rooms. The hotel room is barren and clean. There's no sign anyone is staying in it. The fire escape is appropriately near. Andy locks the door behind them and steps over to the closet, unlocks it, and pulls out 2 gray Samsonite suitcases. The kind you can drive a truck over. Doughboy probably told you I don't carry any Saturday night specials or crap like that. It's all out of state. Clean, brand new, top-of-the-line stuff. Andy places the suitcases on the white bedspread. The suitcases are equipped with special locks, which he quickly opens. Andy opens the suitcases. Stacked in gray packing foam are rows and rows of brand new guns. You got a .44 Magnum? That's an expensive gun. I got money. Andy unzips a cowhide leather pouch to reveal a .44 Magnum pistol. He holds it gingerly, as if it were a precious treasure. Andy opens the chamber and cradles the long 8-inch barrel in his palm. The .44 is a huge, oversized, inhuman gun. Andy says admiringly, "It's a monster. Can stop a car. Puts a bullet right into the block. A premium high resale gun. $350. That's only $100 over list." Easy Andy is a later version of the fast-talking, good-looking kid in college who's always making money on one scheme or another. In high school, he sold lottery tickets. In college, he scored dope. And now he's hustling handguns. Andy holds the Magnum out for Travis's inspection. There is a worshipful close-up of the .44 Magnum. It is a monster. Travis hefts the huge gun. It seems out of place in his hand. It is built on Michelangelo's scale. The Magnum belongs in the hand of a marble god, not a slight taxi driver. Travis hands the gun back to Andy. I could sell this gun in Harlem for $500 today, but I just deal high-quality goods to high-quality people. Now, this may be a little big for practical use, in which case I'd recommend the .38 Smith & Wesson Special. Fine, solid gun, nickel-plated, snub-nosed, otherwise the same as the service revolver. Now, that'll stop anything that moves. It's handy and flexible. The Magnum, that's only if you want to splatter it against the wall. The movies have driven up the price of the Magnum anyway. Everybody wants them now. But the Wesson .38, only $250, and worth every dime of it. He hefts the .38. Throw in a holster for $10. Travis hefts the nickel-plated .38 and points it out the window. Some of these guns are like toys, but a Smith & Wesson, man, you can hit someone over the head with it, and it will still come back dead on. Nothing beats quality. You interested in an automatic? I want a .32 revolver and a palm gun. That .22 there. That's the Colt 25. A fine little gun. Don't do a lot of damage, but it's as fast as the devil. Handy little gun. You can carry it almost anywhere. I'll throw it in for another $125. Travis holds the .32 gun, hefts it, and slips it under his belt, pulls his shirt over it. He turns from side to side to see how it rides in his waist. How much for everything? The .32's $150, and you're really getting a good deal now. Altogether, it comes to $785 for 4 pieces and a holster. Hell, I'll give you the holster. We'll make it $75. You got a deal. A good one. How much to get a permit to carry? Well, you're talking big money now. I'd say at least $5,000, maybe more. And it would take a while to check it out. The way things are going, $5,000 is probably low. You see, I try not to fool with the small-time crap. Too risky, too little bread. Say 6 G's. But if I get the permit, it'll be sold as the Empire State Building. Nah, this'll be fine. You can't carry that in a cab even with a permit, so why bother? Is there a firing range around? Sure. Here, take this card, go to this place, and give them the card. They'll charge you, but there won't be any hassle. Travis pulls out a roll of crisp $100 bills and counts off 8. Are you in Nam? Couldn't help but notice your jacket. Travis looks up. Huh? Vietnam. I saw it on your jacket. Where were you? I bet you got to handle a lot of weapons out there. Travis hands Andy the bills. Andy counts them and gives Travis a 20 and a 5. Yeah, I was all around. One hospital, then the next. Andy, through counting. It's hell out there, all right. A real shit-eating war. I'll say this, though. It's bringing a lot of fantastic guns. The market is flooded. Colt automatics are all over. He pockets the money. Travis intensely. They'd never get me to go back. They'd have to shoot me first. You got anything to carry these in? Travis gestures to pistols. Travis is like a light switch. For long periods he goes along dark and silent saying nothing, and then suddenly the current is turned on and the air is filled with the electricity of his personality. Travis's inner intensity sets Andy back a bit, and he quickly recovers. Sure. Andy pulls a gym bag from under his bed. He wraps the gun in the sheet in the bag and zips it up. An identical gym bag can be partially seen under the bed. He hands Travis the bag. You like ball games? Huh? I can get you front and center. What do you like? I can get you Mets, Knicks, Rangers. Hell, I can get you the mayor's box. Nah, I ain't interested. Andy closes and locks the suitcases. Okay. Travis turns to leave. Wait a second, Travis. I'll walk you out. Several weeks later, the face of Travis's apartment has changed. The long, blank wall behind the table is now covered with tacked-up charts, pictures, newspaper clippings, and maps. Camera does not come close enough to discern the exact content of these clippings. Travis in close-up in the middle of the floor doing push-ups. He is bare back, wearing only his jeans. There is a long scar across his left side. May 29, 1972. I must get in shape. Too much sitting has ruined my body. 25 push-ups each morning, 100 sit-ups, 100 knee bends. I have quit smoking. Travis, still bareback, passes his stiff arm through the flame of the gas burner without flinching a muscle. Total organization is necessary. Every muscle must be tight. At the firing range, the cracking sound of rapid-fire pistol shots fill the musty air. The walls are heavily soundproofed, and sawdust is spread over the floor. Travis stands rock solid, firing the .44 Magnum at an arm's length. With each blasting discharge from the Magnum, Travis's body shudders and shakes, his arm as if each recoil from the giant gun was a direct attack on his masculinity. Travis fires the Magnum as quickly as he can reset, re-aim, and refire. The Magnum is empty. He sets it down, picks up the .38 Special, and begins firing as soon as he can aim. After the .38 comes the .25. It is as if he were in a contest to see how quickly he can fire the pistols. After all the guns were discharged, he begins reloading them without a moment's hesitation. Downrange, the red and white targets have the black outline of a human figure drawn over them. The contour man convulses under the steady barrage of Travis's rapid-fire shots. Travis in his apartment now, wearing an unfastened green plaid western shirt. He sits at the table writing in his diary. The vial of bennies is on the table. My body fights me always. It won't work, it won't sleep, it won't shit, it won't eat. Later, Travis, his shirt still revealing his bare chest, sits on his straight-backed chair watching the TV. The .44 Magnum rests on his lap. The TV is broadcasting Rock Time, a late afternoon local teenage dance and rock show. On screen, young teeny boppers are dancing, and the TV cameraman, as any devotee of the genre knows, is relentlessly zooming in on their firm young breasts, fannies, and crotches, a sensibility which reflects Travis's own. These supper-hour rock dance shows are the most unabashedly voyeuristic form of broadcasting the medium has yet developed. The hard rock number ends, and the TV camera cuts to the local disc jockey, a hirsute, plastic-looking man about 35. 5 scrumptious teeny boppers are literally hanging on his shoulders and arms, their faces turned up to him in droolish awe. Out of his mouth comes an incessant stream of disc jockey blather. He's a complete asshole. I don't know who is currently performing this function in New York, but in Los Angeles, his name is Real Don Steele. Freshingly, fantastic, freaked out dance time. Can you dig it? Dig it. You got it. Flaunt it. Travis watches the show, his face hard and unmoving. He is, as the scriptures would say, pondering all these things in his heart. Why is it the assholes get all the beautiful young chicks? He takes a swig of peach brandy. Travis runs his hand down the left side of his jacket, attempting to smooth out the bulge underneath. Travis opens his jacket partially, checking underneath. There rests the nickel-plated .38 Special in his holster. We see Travis's taxi parked from down the street. Several blocks ahead, the red, white, and blue campaign headquarters of Charles Palantine are visible. Travis' eyes resume their watch. Travis starts the car and drives toward the Palantine headquarters. A tracking point of view shot of the row of storefronts leading up to Palantine headquarters. Another point of view passes headquarters. It is half empty. A few stalwart supporters continue to work toward the rear of the office. At Betsy's desk, the sign in the window reads, "Only 4 more days until arrival of Charles Palantine." Travis's off-duty light goes off as he speeds up and heads towards a prospective fair. Later that night, about 9:30, uptown, 128th and Amsterdam, the jungle. Travis's taxi pulls up to an address and lets off young black man. Travis receives the fare and tip and takes off. From Travis's point of view, he works his way through Harlem, back down 7th Ave. Clusters of young black street punks pretend to hail the cab. We ignore them. One throws a wine bottle, which crashes in our path. The taxi swerves to avoid it. The camera tracks through sidewalk crowds with the roving, suspicious, antagonistic eye of the taxi driver. Later that night, about 12:30, Travis is on the Lower East Side, somewhere on B Street, east of Tompkins Square. The sidewalks are populated with the remains of what once was a hippie movement. Teenage streetwalkers, junkies, thugs, emaciated loners on the prowl. Travis's taxi pulls over, letting out a fare. Travis pockets his fare, but the rear right door doesn't slam. Instead, there's a sound of another person jumping into the cab. Travis checks the back seat. There sits a pale, hippie prostitute. The girl is at best 14 or 15, though she has been made to look much older. She's wearing floppy Janis Joplin clothes. Her face is pallid. She wears large blue-tinted sunglasses and multicolored leg stockings. Her name, as we learn later, is Iris. Travis hesitates, looking at her in the mirror. "Come on, mister, let's get out of here, quick!" Travis moves to activate the meter when the rear door opens. Iris is helped out of the cab by a man Travis cannot see. "Come on, baby, let's go. This is all a real drag." Iris lets herself be taken out of the cab. The rear door closes. Sport leans partially in the front window, throwing something in the front seat. Travis looks. It's a crumpled $20 bill. "Just forget all about this, cabbie. It's nothing." Travis cannot see Sport's face, lime green completely, but notices he is wearing a jacket. The voice is that of a man in his early 20s. Travis turns to catch a glimpse of Sport as he walks off with Iris. Travis shrugs and turns around. He pulls away. Early morning, 6 a.m., quitting time. Travis pulls into the taxi garage. He pulls into his stall, and he sits in the driver's seat thinking for a moment. He looks to his right. The $20 bill still lies there, untouched, since it was thrown there 6 hours previously. Travis reluctantly picks up the $20 bill and stuffs it into his jacket pocket as he gets out of the cab. He gathers up his time report and heads toward book-in table. A short while later, Travis is walking down the sidewalk near the taxi garage. His hands are in his jacket pockets, obscuring the slight bulge on his left side. He turns into the box office of the porno theater. He reaches into the jacket pocket for money to purchase a ticket and pulls out the crumpled $20 bill. Seeing the bill, he decides not to use it and pays for a ticket out of his own wallet instead. Travis walks past the concession stand en route to the darkened theater auditorium. A young man is now sitting listlessly behind the concessions counter. Travis slouches down into his seat, his face glowing in the reflected light from the screen. "Aw, come now. Now, lick it. Come on. That's good. Oh, yeah, more." Travis averts his eyes as the action on screen becomes too graphic. Placing his stiffened right hand beside his eyes, Travis can, by turning it inward, shut off or open his field of vision by small degrees. The movie voice diminishes, replaced by the sound of Travis's voiceover. "The idea that's been growing in my head." A tracking shot to the wall of Travis's apartment. The camera moves slowly across the wall, covered with clippings, notes, maps, and pictures. We now see their contents clearly. The wall is covered with Charles Palantine political paraphernalia. There are pictures of him, newspaper articles, leaflets, bumper stickers, as the camera moves along with it. It discovers a sketch of the Plaza Hotel, the Kennedy Airport, and cut-up sections of city maps with notations written on. There is lengthy New York Times clippings detailing the increased secret security protection during the primaries. A section pertaining to Palantine is underlined. Further along, there's a sheet reading "Traveling Notes," and a calendar for June is finely written, notations written over each date. For some time, true force, all the king's men cannot put it back together again. As the camera reaches the end of its track, it finds Travis, standing, his shirt open, but the mattress. He's wearing an empty holster, and the .44 is in his hand. In the shots that follow, Travis gives the audience a lesson in gunmanship. Travis practices fast drawing the .38 special from his holster and firing it. He hooks the .44 into his pants behind his back and practices withdrawing it. He holds the .44 firmly at arm's length, tightening his forearm muscles. He has worked out a system of metal gliders taped to his inner forearm, whereby the Colt 25 can rest behind the upper forearm until a spring near the elbow is activated, sending the 25 flying down the gliders into his palm. He has cut open his shirt to accommodate the gun mechanism, and now checks in the mirror to see how well the gun is hidden. He straps an army combat knife to his calf and cuts a slit in his jeans where the knife can be pulled out quickly. He now tries on various combinations of shirts, sweaters, and jackets in front of the mirror to see how well he can hide all the guns he wishes to carry. Finally, wearing 2 Western shirts, a sweater, and a jacket, he manages to obscure the location of all 3 guns, although he resembles a hunter bundled up against the Arctic winter. Dum-dumming the .44 bullets, cutting X's across the bullet heads. He scans the objects of his room through the scope of the .38. Travis stands in the middle of his apartment, staring at his Palantine wall. His eyes are glazed with introspection. He sees nothing but himself. "Listen to you screwheads. Here is a man." Travis lies on his mattress, all bundled up in his shirts, sweater, jacket, and guns. His face is turned toward the ceiling, but his eyes are closed. Although the room is flooded with light, he is finally catching some sleep. The big furry animal drifts into his own world. Who wouldn't take it anymore? A man who stood up against the scum, the cunts, the dogs, the filth. Here is, and his voice trails off, and a close-up of the diary. Entry ends with words, "Here is," followed by an erratic series of dots. At night, the taxis are roaming the slick streets. Sometime after 2 a.m., Travis pulls his cab to the curb near an all-night delicatessen in Spanish Harlem. The streets are relatively deserted. Travis waves to the storekeeper as he walks past the counter. "Hello, Melio." Spanish rhythm and blues blares from a cheap radio. Travis walks over to the dairy counter in front of the store and picks out a pint of chocolate milk. He goes over to the open cooler and picks through various chilled, prepackaged sandwiches. He overhears a voice as he looks at the sandwiches. When Travis returns to the counter with the chocolate milk and a sandwich in one hand, he sees a young black man holding a gun on Melio. The stick-up man is nervous, hopped up, or both. He bounces on the balls of his cheap worn black tennis shoes, a strung-out junkie on a desperation ride. The stick-up man, thorough unprofessional, doesn't notice Travis. Melio watches the stick-up man closely, deciding what to do himself. Stick-up man shaking the gun. "Come on, man! Quick! Quick, hand over that bread!" It doesn't take Travis long to realize what to do. Without hesitation, he pulls the .32 from his jacket pocket. "Hey, dude!" The stick-up man, surprised, turned toward Travis, finding only an exploding .32. The man's lower jaw bursts open with blood as he reels and crashes to the floor. There is no emotion on Travis's face. As the stick-up man falls, Melio leans over the counter, wielding his battered .38. He's about to fire when he realizes the man is already dead. Melio, charged up, turns his gun toward Travis, then, realizing the danger is over, lowers it again. "Thanks, man. Figured I'd get him on the way out." Travis sets his .32 on the counter. "You're gonna have to cover me on this one, Melio. I can't stay for the cop show." "You can't do that, Travis. You're my witness." "The hell I can't. It's no sweat for you. What is this for you, number 5? Melio smiles and holds up 4 fingers. "No, only 4. He shrugs. "All right, Travis. I'll do what I can." "Thanks a lot." The bloody body lies on the floor, unmoving. Travis, still carrying his pint of chocolate milk and sandwich, walks down the empty sidewalk and enters his cab. The street is deserted. Direct cut to a pornographic movie. This is the first time we've actually seen the porno movie itself. Several actors and actresses are dallying on screen in whatever manner the ratings board deems permissible. Whatever the action, the movie's decor is strictly Zodi's ersatz landscape paintings, tufted bedspreads. As in most porno films, the actors look up occasionally toward the camera to receive instructions. The studio grunts and groans, the moans of pleasures have been dubbed in. The action on screen begins to go into slow motion, and the actors and actresses gradually transform obscenity into poetry. Travis, sitting in his chair of his apartment, watching an afternoon soap opera. He's cleaning his .38 and eating from a jar of applesauce. The soap opera continues. He watches without expression. The soundtrack of the film also slows down, gradually mixing, and then becoming the soundtrack of a mid-afternoon TV soap opera. A young girl and boy are talking in those familiar soap opera voices, and a third party, the girl's mother, who had tried to terminate their relationship. The boy on TV is visiting the girl in her hospital room. Both look as they've stepped out of a blue-chip stamp catalog. "Is it that she doesn't like me?" "Well, Jim, it's just that, I don't know how to say this. It's that she thinks your parents aren't good enough, I guess." Travis, through cleaning his gun, begins to play a game with the television set. He places the heel of his boot at the bottom of the melon crate which supports the TV. Then, slowly rocking his heel back and forth, he sees how far he can tip the melon crate without knocking it over. The TV, still broadcasting the hospital room melodrama, rocks back and forth. Travis pushes the TV farther and farther until finally the inevitable happens. The crate tips backward, sending the portable TV crashing to the floor. There is a short flash and the TV screen turns white. Travis, realizing what he has done, bends over and turns the TV upright. He fiddles with the knobs and slaps it, tries to reactivate the vanished image, but Travis's efforts are futile. A tube has broken, and the TV will not come back to life. Damn! Damn! Travis bends over in the chair and places his head in his hands, despairing of himself. About 1 a.m., Travis pulls the cab behind the line of empty taxis parked outside a Belmore cafeteria, a cabbie hangout on Park Ave South. He locks his cab and walks past the line of taxis. He sidesteps two drunken fighting bums and enters the Belmore. A loud buzzer rings as Travis steps in. He pulls a ticket from the dispenser, silencing the buzzer, and walks toward the wall-length counter. An assortment of cabbies are seated around a formica-topped table near the rear of the cafeteria. Some are barely awake, some are eating, some are swapping stories and small talk. Wizard, Doughboy, Charlie T, and a fourth cabbie are seated at a long table. "You know, Eddie, he's a new hippie kid in our group. Long hair." Wizard demonstrates the length of hair, and the others nod. "He called up the dispatcher last night. Charlie McCall, our dispatcher." "One Ball McCall?" "That's the guy. Eddie calls him up and says, 'Hey, what do you want me to do? I'm over here at Poly Prep. I got a girl in the back and she doesn't have the fare. She wants me to come in the back and collect. What should I do?'" The cabbies laugh. Across the cafeteria, Travis selects a cup of coffee and some pastries. This is on the two-way with about 150 cars listening in. McCall says, "How much on the meter?" Eddie comes back and says, $2.50. McCall says, "Is she worth it?" More laughter. "Fucking one ball." And the kid says, "Yeah, she's about 19, good looking." McCall says, "What can I tell you?" "She should have told him to get an okay from the front office." So McCall says, "Well, if you want some help, I'll see if I can send some units out." "Yeah, about 150. I hope she had a checker. She was just a kid, stoned." Travis, carrying his coffee and pastries, walks over to their table. Charlie T spots him. "Hey, you killer!" Charlie forms his hand into a pistol, cocks and fires, making the sound, pew. Travis nods. "You're getting a rep, Travis." Travis sits down and the other cabbies resume their conversation. "You got the 5 you owe me, killer?" Travis reaches into his pocket, pulls out a roll of small denomination bills. The crumpled 20 falls onto the table. Travis stares at it a moment. He unfolds a 5 and gives it to Charlie T. Then he picks up the crumpled 20 and puts it back into his pocket. "So, what's the action around?" "Slow." "Shit, yeah. Knight would have been dead if I hadn't grabbed an out-of-towner at Kennedy. Took him round the horn and got a $5 tip to boot." The Wizard, joking. "One of these days we're gonna turn you in, Charlie T. Fleecing the hicks like that." "Remember the time this cat picks up 4 dudes from the other side? Pakistanis, I think they were, holding up their passports to the toll booth collector on the bridge. Charges them $10 each for crossing the border." They all laugh. "Hell, I know you'd do worse." "Least I'm no airport rat. I work the whole town." "It's a living." The Wizard gets up to leave. "Well, I'm shoving on." The Wizard gets up and walks toward the cashier. After a second thought, Travis calls to him. "Hey, Wiz, just a second, I want to talk to you." The Wizard waits for Travis as he takes a final gulp of coffee and catches up with him. Charlie T calls to Travis as they go. "See ya, killer. Don't forget your pea shooter." Charlie T cocks his imaginary gun again, fires, and chuckles. Wizard and Travis nod goodbye and pay the cashier. Travis follows Wizard out onto the sidewalk. Travis follows the Wizard as he walks toward the cab. He has something on his mind, something he wants to talk to the Wizard about. "Hey, Wiz." Wizard leans back against the cab. Travis is about to speak when he spots a group of black and Puerto Rican street punks aged 12 to 15 jiving down the sidewalk towards him. One tosses a spray paint can around his back, basketball style. Another one mocks as if he's going to scratch a key along one of the cabs. The wizard has no visible reaction. A flash of controlled anger crosses Travis's face. He stares at the boy with the poised key. It's the same look that crossed his face in the Harlem Deli. We are reminded with a jolt that the killer lies beneath Travis's surface. The black punk must instinctively realize this too, because he makes a cocky show of putting the key back into his pocket and bebopping around Travis and the wizard. The young mean streeters continue down the street, and Travis turns back to Wizard. Across the street, in the background, a junkie nestles in the doorway. "Hey, Wiz?" "Yeah?" "Look, we never talked much, you and me." "Yeah?" "I wanted to ask you something, on account you've been around for so long." "Shoot, they don't call me the Wizard for nothing." "Well, I just, things got you down." "Real down." "It happens. Sometimes it gets so... I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I get some real crazy ideas, Just go out and do something." "The taxi life, you mean?" "Yeah." He nods. "I know." "Like, do anything, Travis, look, I dig it. Let me explain. You choose a certain way of life. You live it. It becomes who you are. I've been a hack 27 years. The last 10 at night. Still don't own my own cab. I guess that's the way I want it. You see, that must be what I am." A police car stops across the street and two patrolmen get out to roust the junkie from his doorway. "Look, a person does a certain thing, and that's all there is to it. It becomes what he is. So why fight it? What do you know? How long you been a hack? A couple of months? You're like a peg and you got dropped into a slot. You gotta squirm and wiggle around a while until you fit in." Travis pauses. "That's just about the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Wizard." What do you expect, Bertrand Russell? I've been a cabbie all my life. What do I know?" "I don't even know what you're talking about." "Neither do I guess. You fit in. It's lonely, it's rough at first, but you fit in. You got no choice." "Yeah, sorry, Wizard." "Don't worry, killer. You'll be alright. I've seen enough to know." "Thanks." Wizard gives Travis a short wave implying chin up, old boy, and walks around to the driver's side of his cab. The wizard drives off, leaving the street to its natural inhabitants. A rally platform in a supermarket parking lot somewhere in Queens is draped in red, white, and blue bunting. A crowd of about 500 mills about, waiting for the rally to begin. Piped pop country music plays over the loudspeaker system. A cadre of Secret Service men, with their distinctive metallic gray suits, sunglasses, and football physiques, stand out in the crowd. On the platform are seated an assortment of local politicos, as well as some Palatine workers and advisors. Tom is silently reading something on the podium, and Betsy stands on the platform, talking with another worker. Tom looks up and to his left for a moment, then returns to what he was reading. He returns his gaze to the upper left, watching something very closely. After a moment, he walks over to the steps where Betsy is standing. "Betsy, come over here a moment." "What is it? I'm busy." He insists. "Just follow me." Betsy excuses herself and walks across the platform with Tom. As they stand to the rear of the platform, Tom secretively makes a gesture with his eyes and says out of the side of his mouth, "Look there." Her eyes follow his. "No, over further. Get your glasses. Yes, over there. Isn't that little guy the same guy that was bugging you around the office about a month ago?" Betsy, putting on her glasses, looks closely. She tries not to make her stare too obvious. No, I don't think so. That's someone else. Now look more closely. Look around the eyes and chin. You see there? The camera closes in on Travis Bickle standing in the crowd. He has shaved his head to a short stubble, but there he is, brush cut, wearing a giant grin and a large Palatine 72 button. Although it is a pleasant sunny day, Travis wears a bulky, bulged-out army jacket. Travis looks warily from side to side and vanishes in the crowd. A short while later, Travis walks up to a Secret Service man standing near the fringes of the crowd. The Secret Service man, in sunglasses, gray suit, ever-roving eyes, is immediately identifiable. Whenever Travis confronts a symbol of authority, he becomes like a young boy. This time is no exception, although one suspects there is a plan hatching beneath that boyish exterior. The Secret Service man, for his part, is about as talkative as the Sphinx. Are you a Secret Service man? Why do you ask? I've seen a lot of suspicious-looking people around here today. The Secret Service man glances at Travis momentarily. Who? Oh, lots. I don't know where they all are now. There used to be one standing over there. The Secret Service man's gaze follows Travis's finger for a second, then returns to Travis. Is it hard to get to be a Secret Service man? Why? I kind of thought I might make a good one. You know, I'm very observant. Oh? I was in the army, too. I'm good with crowds. The Secret Service man is starting to get interested in Travis. He definitely ranks as a suspicious character. Is that so? What kind of guns do you guys use? 38s? The Secret Service man decides it's time to get more information on Travis. Look, if you give me your name and address, we'll send you the information on how to apply. You would, huh? He takes out a notepad. Sure. My name is Henry Krinkle. That's with a K. Krinkle. I live at 13.5 Hopper Avenue, Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Zip code 07410. You got that? Sure, Henry. I got it all. We'll send you all the stuff, all right. Great. Hey, thanks a lot. The Secret Service man motions to a Secret Service photographer to catch a picture of Travis. He notices this and quickly slips away into the crowd. Travis sits at his desk in his apartment writing. He wears jeans, a western shirt, and an empty holster. June 11th. 8 rallies and 6 more days. The time is coming. At night, Travis's taxi picks up a fare in the Midtown area and heads downtown. On the Lower East Side, Travis lets off a fare on B Street and cuts across toward Tompkins Square. Travis turns the corner when, screech! He suddenly hits the brakes, causing the cab to rock back and forth. He almost hit a young girl recklessly crossing the street. She thumps her hand on the taxi hood to regain her balance and stares in shock. We get a close-up of the girl's face. Travis recognizes her. It's Iris, the girl in his taxi a week or so before. Iris looks at Travis sharply, then turns and continues walking. Travis's eyes follow her, and she rejoins a girlfriend. They are both dressed as hippie hookers, sloppy clothes, boots, jeans, floppy hats. The old come-hither walk is unmistakable. Travis follows Iris and her girlfriend slowly as they walk down the sidewalk. From his point of view, he examines them top to bottom. Boots, legs, thighs, breasts, faces, and hats. As Travis rolls astride the girls, he notices the familiar fringe of a suede jacket standing in the shadows. The girls looked toward the shadowy figure, smiled, acknowledged some unheard comment, and continue on. Iris looks back uneasily at the taxi and continues on. On the street corner stand 2 well-to-do college students, somewhat out of place in this environment, but making every attempt to groove on it. They are high on something or another. The girls spot the college students and walk over to them. They exchange some small talk and walk off together. There is little subtlety involved. It is obviously a pickup. Travis must negotiate a turn around the corner if he is to continue following the girls and their collegiate jaunts. This is not easy, since the traffic is heavy. As Travis slows down to make the turn, he notices another hippie hooker, who has been watching him watch Iris and her girlfriend. She walks over to the taxi, leans in, and opens the left front window. She gives Travis the "come on," disguised as an innocent question. "Hey, cabby, you coming or going?" Travis quickly turns his face away from her in a combination of shock, embarrassment, and revulsion. He is the child caught with his hand in the cookie jar. The very presence of this crassly, openly sexual human frightens and sickens him. Travis takes off with a screech. His taxi shoots down the block. On a hot June day, Travis's taxi, the off-duty sign on, is parked against the curb somewhere in Harlem. White cops, Secret Service men, and reporters punctuate the otherwise black crowds, which walk to and fro in the background. Charles Pallantine's voice can be heard coming from a distant loudspeaker system. This is a political rally. Travis sits behind the wheel, coldly staring at something in the distance. His hair, of course, is still clipped short, and he wears mirror-reflecting sunglasses. Even though a drop of sweat is working its way down his cheek, Travis wears his army jacket with the bulge on the left side, the .38 Smith & Wesson bulge. A block away, Pallantine stands on a platform outside his uptown campaign headquarters. On the platform sits an array of black dignitaries. Nearby, we recognize the Secret Service man Travis spoke to at the earlier rally. He scans the crowd anxiously. Pallantine is speaking animatedly. He is an excellent speaker and captures our attention. He drives hard towards his arguments, crashes down on his points. His strained voice rings with sincerity and anger. We get a close-up of Pallantine as he speaks. He is dressed in rolled-up shirt sleeves, and sweat pours down his face. "The time has come to put an end to the things that divide us, racism, poverty, and to those persons who seek to divide us. Neither have I seen such a group of high officials from the president to Senate leaders to cabinet members." No expression on Travis. Pallantine's words are barely distinguishable from a block away. In the distance, "Pit black against white, young against old, sow anger, disunity, and suspicion, and all in the name of the good of the country. Well, their game is over. All their games are over." Applause. "Now is the time to stand up against such foolishness, propaganda, and demagoguery. Now is the time for one man to stand up and accept his neighbor, for one man to give in order that all might receive. Is unity and love of common good such a lost thing?" All live sound ceases as Travis's narration begins. He's reading from a letter or a card that he has just written. As he speaks, we see shots of Pallantine speaking. A seated row of young black Pallantine, red, white, and blue bedecked cheerleaders, Secret Service agents examining the crowd, and so forth. These shots have no direct relationship to the narration. Dear Mother and Father, June is the month I remember which brings not only your wedding anniversary, but also Father's Day and Mother's birthday. I'm sorry I can't remember the exact dates, but I hope this card will take care of all of them. I'm sorry I cannot again send you my address like I promised last year, but the sensitive nature of my work for the Army demands utmost secrecy. I know you will understand. I am healthy and well and making lots of money. I have been with a girl for several months, and I know you would be proud if you could see her. Her name is Betsy, but I can tell you no more than that. As Travis reads the third paragraph, a policeman is seen walking from behind his taxi to his window. The policeman's voice comes during a pause in the narration. The live sound resumes. Standing near the window. "Hey, cabby, you can't park here." Travis, penitent. Sorry, officer." "You waiting for a fare?" The policeman leans his head in the window, inspecting the cab. As he does, Travis slides his right hand into the left side of his jacket, ready to draw his revolver. "No, officer." "All right, move it." Travis starts up his taxi and drives off. The live sound again ceases as Travis resumes reading the letter, as the taxi drives away. As Taxi reads the final paragraph, the scene cuts to his apartment interior, where Travis sits at the table. He resumes reading. "I hope this card finds you all well, as it does me. I hope no one has died. Don't worry about me. One day there will be a knock on the door, and it will be me. Love, Travis." Travis, at his desk, examines the card upon which he has just written the letter. The cover of the card. It's a 25-cent wedding anniversary card with a 4-color embossed cover. The design could only be described as Urkitsch. A cartoon Mr. and Mrs. All-America stand before an outdoor barbecuing grill, clicking salt and pepper shakers in a toast. The sentiment reads, "To a couple who have found the perfect combination for marriage." And inside the card, it opens to read, "Love." Underneath the word love, Travis begins a short message to his parents, a message which extends to the back cover of the card. It is now night on the Lower East Side. Travis sits parked in the dark shadows of a side street. The lone wolf waits. Travis watches the slum goddesses as they work the section of the street reserved for hippie hookers. Some of the young street girls are arrogant, almost aggressive, and some are insecure and inexperienced. A black man charges down the sidewalk across the street from Travis. He walks at a fast, maniacal clip, looking only at the sidewalk in front of him. Out of his mouth comes a continuous stream of invective. "That cock-sucking, crazy, no-good asshole bitch, when I get my fucking fingers on her tits, I'm gonna wring them and shut them in the ass," and so on. He's out of control. Nobody seems to notice or care. Travis takes a swig of peach brandy and continues his stakeout. Finally, Travis spies the object of his search. Iris walks down the sidewalk with her girlfriend. Iris wears her large blue sunglasses. Travis checks to see his .38 is in place, which it is, and he opens the door and exits from the cab. Flipping up the collar of his army jacket, Travis slouches over and walks over to Iris. He sort of sidles up next to her and walks beside her. Travis almost looks suspicious when he's trying to appear innocent. "Hello? You looking for some action?" "Well, I guess so." She eyes him. "All right. You see that guy over there? His name is Sport. Go talk to him and I'll wait here." Travis's eyes follow Iris's nod until they reach Sport, standing in a doorway in his lime green jacket. Travis walks toward him. Sport, a 30-ish white greaser, has the affections of a black pimp. His hips are jiving, his fingers softly snapping. He sings to himself, "Going to the chapel, gonna get married." His complexion is sallow, his eyes cold and venal. He could only seem romantic to a confused, underaged runaway. "You named Sport?" Sport immediately takes Travis for an undercover cop. He extends his wrists crossed as if to be handcuffed. "Here, officer, take me in, I'm clean. I didn't do it. Got a ticket once in Jersey, that's all, honest, officer." "Is your name Sport?" "Anything you say, officer." "I'm no cop." He looks back at Iris. "I want some action." "I saw. 20, 15 minutes, $30 for half an hour." Shit. Take it or leave it. Travis digs in his pocket for money. No, not me. There'll be an elderly gent to take the bread. Travis turns to walk away. Catch you later, copper. Travis freezes, not saying anything. He turns back towards Sport. I'm no cop. Well, if you are, it's entrapment already. I'm hip. Funny, you don't look hip. Travis walks back to Iris. Iris motions for Travis to follow her, and he does. Iris and Travis turn the corner and walk about a block, saying nothing. Iris turns into a darkened doorway, and Travis follows her. At the top of the dark stairs, Iris and Travis enter a dimly lit hallway. On either side are doors with apartment numbers. Iris turns toward the first door, number 2. This is my room. At the far end of the darkened corridor sits a huge old man. His face is obscured by shadow. Travis is about to enter the room when the old man speaks up. Hey, cowboy! Travis turns his head toward the old man, who has stood up and is advancing towards him. The old man motions to Travis's jacket. The rod. Give me the rod, cowboy. Travis hesitates a moment, uncertain what to do. The old man reaches in Travis's jacket and pulls out the .38 Special. This ain't Dodge City, cowboy. You don't need no peace. He glances at his watch. I'm keeping time. Travis enters number 2 with Iris. He looks around her room. Although dimly lit, the room is brightly decorated. There's an orange shag carpet, deep brown walls, and an old red velvet sofa. On the walls are posters of Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan, and Peter Fonda. A Neil Young album is playing on a small phonograph. This is where Iris lives. It bears the individual touch of a young girl. Iris lights a cigarette, takes a single puff, and places it in an ashtray on the bedstand. Why do you hang around with them greasers? A girl needs protection. Yeah, from the likes of them. She shrugs. It's your time, mister. 15 minutes ain't long. She gestures to her cigarette. That cigarette burns out, your time is up. Iris sits on the edge of the bed and removes her hat and coat. She takes off her blue-tinted sunglasses, her last defense. Without the paraphernalia of adulthood, Iris looks like the little girl that she is, about 14 or 15. What's your name? Easy. That ain't much of a name. It's easy to remember. Easy lay. What's your real name? I don't like my real name. He insists. What's your real name? Iris. That's a nice name. That's what you think. Iris unbuttons her shirt, revealing her small, pathetic breasts. 2 young doves hiding from a winter wind. Travis is unnerved by her partial nudity. Don't you remember me? Button your shirt. Iris buttons only the bottom button of her shirt. She examines him. Why? Who are you? I drive a taxi. You remember you tried to get away one night? No. You tried to run away in my taxi, but your friend, Sport, wouldn't let you. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get you out of here. He looks toward the door. We better make it, or Sport'll get mad. How do you want to make it? Travis, pressured. I don't want to make it. I came here to get you out. You want to make it like this? She goes for his fly. Travis pushes her away. He sits beside her on the edge of the bed, taking her by the shoulders. Can't you listen to me? Don't you want to get out of here? Why should I want to get out of here? This is where I live. Travis, exasperated. But you're the one that wanted to get away. You're the one that came into my cab. I must have been stoned. Do they drug you? Iris, reproved. Oh, come off it, man. Iris tries to unzip Travis's fly. This only unnerves Travis more. Sexual contact is something he's never really confronted. Listen, don't you want to make it? Can't you make it? Iris works on Travis's crotch off camera. He bats her hand away. He's distraught. I want to help you. Travis is getting increasingly panicked, but Iris only thinks this is part of his particular thing and tries to overcome it. She catches on. "You can't make it, can you?" "I can help you." Iris lowers her head to go down on Travis, but Travis sees this, jumps up in panic. Travis stands several feet from Iris. His fly is still open. The white of his underwear shows through his jeans. He is starting to come apart. "Fuck it! Fuck it! Fuck it!" Iris confused. "You can do it in my mouth." "Don't you understand anything?" Iris says nothing. After a long moment, Travis again sits on the bed beside Iris. She no longer tries to make him. There's a moment of silence, and Iris puts her arm around his shoulder. "You don't have to make it, mister." Travis rests a moment, collecting himself. Finally, he says, "Do you understand why I came here?" "I think so. I tried to get into your cab one night, and now you want to come and take me away? Don't you want to go?" "I can leave anytime I want." "But that one night, I was stoned. That's why they stopped me. When I'm not stoned, I got no place else to go. They just protect me from myself." There's a pause. Travis smiles and shrugs apologetically. Travis looks at Iris's cigarette. It's burning down to the butt. "Well, I tried." "I understand, mister. It means something, really." "Can I see you again?" "That's not hard to do." "No, I mean really. Like, this is nothing for a person to do." "Sure, all right. We'll have breakfast. I get up about 1 o'clock. Tomorrow?" Travis thinks. "Well, tomorrow noon there's I kinda got Iris is interfering with Travis's assassination schedule. "Well, you want to or not?" He decides. "Okay, it's a date. I'll see you there then." Travis turns and Iris smiles. "Oh, Iris?" "Yeah? My name's Travis." "Thank you, Travis." "So long, Iris." "Sweet Iris." He smiles. Travis exits and closes the door to number 2 and stands in the corridor for a moment. The old man slowly walks from the dark end of the hallway with his .38 in his hand. Old man stands near Travis and checks his watch. "I think this is yours, old cowboy." Travis reaches in his jacket pocket and pulls out the familiar crumpled $20 bill. He makes a big show of stuffing the wrinkled bill into the old man's hand. The old man does not understand the significance of it. Travis, with restrained anger. "Here's a $20, old man. You better damn well spend it right." Travis turns and walks away. The old man says, as Travis walks down the stairs, "Come back any time you want, cowboy, but without the rod, please." Travis does not respond. Palantine, Tom, and Palantine's assistants are seated in a garishly decorated suite. "Well, at least it wasn't chicken." "It wasn't? I thought it was. It tasted like chicken." "Come on, Senator, that was a class dinner. The St. Regis is a class joint. That was veal." "Was it? It sure tasted like chicken to me." "Lately, everything tastes like chicken to me." "Everything? You gotta watch your gut." "What about it? I took 20 off before we started this thing." "You've got to put 10 back on." 10? I don't think so. You really think so? 10? Those TV cameras do. I caught the rally on CBS. You looked a little paunchy. I don't think I gained 10 pounds. Palantine gets up and walks over to the window. Its bars form a cross sight on his head. He thinks to himself, Jesus Christ. He looks at the crowded traffic on 5th Avenue, 18 floors below. It's a mass of yellow. Travis's cab pulls away from the yellow mass and heads downtown. Travis's cab is parked near a neighborhood Bickford's. Travis and Iris are having late breakfast at a middle-class East Side coffee shop. It's about 1:30 p.m. Iris is dressed more sensibly, wearing jeans and a maroon sweater. Her face is freshly washed, and her hair is combed out. Seen this way, Iris looks no different than any young girl in the big city. Other patrons of the coffee shop will most likely assume she's having lunch with her bigger brother. They are both having an all-American breakfast: ham, eggs, large glasses of orange juice, and coffee. Outside her environment, Iris seems more pathetic. She seems unsure and shizzy, unable to hold a subject for more than 30 seconds. Her gestures are too broad, her voice too mannered. We sympathize with Travis's paternal respect. This girl is in trouble. And after that, Sport and I just started hanging out. Where's home? Iris removes her large blue-tinted sunglasses and fishes through her bag for another pair. I got so many sunglasses. I couldn't live without my shades, man. I must have 12 pairs of shades. She finds a pink-tinted pair and puts them on. Where? Pittsburgh? I ain't never been there. Don't seem like such a bad place. Her voice rises. Why do you want to get me back to my parents? They hate me. Why do you think I split? There ain't nothing there. But you can't live like this. It's hell. A girl should live at home. Playfully. Don't you ever hear a women's lib? There's a short, quick silence, and Travis's eyes retract. He goes on, ignoring her question. Young girls are supposed to dress up and go to school, play with boys, that kind of stuff. Iris places a large gob of jam on her unbuttered toast and folds the bread over like a hot dog. God, you are square. Travis, releasing the pent-up tension. At least I don't walk the streets like a skunk pussy. I don't screw and fuck with killers and junkies. Iris motions him to lower his voice. Who's a killer? That fella Sport? He looks like a killer to me. He never killed nobody. He's a Libra. Huh? I'm a Libra too. That's why we get along so well. He looks like a killer. I think Cancers make the best lovers. My whole family are air signs. He shoots dope, too. What makes you so high and mighty? Did you ever look at your own eyeballs in a mirror? You don't get eyes like that from... He's worse than an animal. Jail is too good for scum like that. There's a brief silence, and Iris's mind continues to whirl at 78 RPM. She seems to have 3 subjects on her mind at a time. She welcomes this opportunity to unburden herself. Rock music died in 1970, that's what I think. Before that, it was fantastic. I can tell you that. Everybody was crashing, hanging out at the Fillmore. Me and my girlfriend Ann used to go up there, the fire escape, Oh, it was unbelievable. Rock stars everywhere. That airplane. That's my group, man. All Libras. But now everybody's split or got sick or busted. I think I'll move to one of those communes in Vermont, That's where all the smart ones went. And I stayed here. I've never been to a commune. I don't know. I saw pictures in a magazine. Doesn't look very clean to me. Why don't you come to a commune with me? Me? I could never go to a place like that. Why? I don't get along with people like that. You a scorpion? That's it. You're a scorpion. I can tell. Besides, I've got to stay here. Why? I've got something important to do, and I can't leave. What's so important? I can't say. It's top secret. I'm doing something for the army. The cab thing is just part-time. You a narc? Do I look like a narc? Yeah. Travis breaks out in his big, infectious grin. Iris joins his laughter. God, I don't know who's weirder, you or me. Travis pauses. What are you going to do about Sport and that old bastard? Just leave him. There's plenty of other girls. You're just going to leave him? Astonished. What should I do? Call the cops? Cops don't do nothing. Sport never treated me bad, honest. He never beat me up once. You can't leave him to do the same to other girls. You should get rid of him. How? He shrugs. I don't know. Just should, though. Somebody should kill him. Nobody would miss him. Iris is taken aback. God, I know where they should have a commune for you. They should have a commune for you at the Bellevue. Travis is apologetic. I'm sorry, Iris. I didn't mean that. You're not much with girls, are you? Travis thinks. Well, Iris, I look at it this way. A lot of girls come into my cab, some of them very beautiful. I figure all day long men have been after them, trying to touch them, talk to them, ask them out, and they hate it. So I figure the best thing I can do for them is to not bother them at all. I don't say a thing. I pretend I'm not even there. I figure they'll understand that and appreciate me for it. It takes Iris a moment to digest this pure example of negative thinking. I am loved to the extent I do not exist. Do you really think I should go to a commune? I think you should go home, but otherwise, I think you should go. It would be great for you. You have to get away from here. The city is a sewer. You gotta get out of here. Mumbling something about her shades again, Iris fishes through her bag until she comes up with another 99-cent pair of sunglasses and puts them on. She likes these better, she decides. Sure you don't want to come with me? I can't, otherwise I would. I sure hate to go alone. I'll give you the money to go. I don't want you to take any from those guys. You don't have to. I want to. What else can I do with my money? He thinks. You may not see me again for a while. What do you mean? A close-up of Travis. My work may take me out of New York. Sport stands beside Iris's bed in her room. What's the matter, baby? Don't you feel right? Iris is wearing her blue-tinted sunglasses. It's my stomach. I got the flu. Sport puts his hands on her hips. He's slowly, carefully, smoothly manipulating her. It's the stone-black hustle. Oh, baby, there ain't no flu. You know that. Honest, Sport. Sport puts some slow soul music on the stereo. You're just tired, baby. You just need your man. I'm your man, you know? You are my woman. I wouldn't be nothing without you. Sport slowly grinds his hips to hers. Iris starts to move with him. That's what she really wanted. Her man's attention. I know this may not mean anything to you, baby, but sometimes I get so emotional. Sometimes I think I wish every man could have what I have now, that every woman could be loved the way I love you. I go home and I think what it would be to be without you, and then I thank God for you. I think to myself, man, you are so lucky. You got a woman who loves you, who needs you, a woman who keeps you strong. It's just you and me. I'm nothing without you. I can go like this forever and ever. We can do it, baby, you and me, just you and me. Sport slowly rubs his crotch into her. Iris smiles. She's happy. The music rises. Travis stands at the firing range, blasting the .44 Magnum with a rapid-fire vengeance. He sets down one gun, picks up the next, and then the next. Quickly reloading, he fires again. The target spins and dances under his barrage. The piercing sound of gunshots rings through the air. At his apartment, Travis is again writing at his table. His western shirt is open, exposing his bare chest. A note of despair and doom has entered into Travis's normally monotone narration voice. This will be the last entry in his diary. My whole life has pointed in one direction. I see that now. There never has been any choice for me. A lengthy point-of-view shot from Travis's taxi. We see New York's nightlife as Travis sees it. The camera tracks down Midtown sidewalk in slight slow motion. There we see couples walking in slow motion, young couples, middle-aged couples, old couples, hookers and johns, girlfriends, boyfriends, business friends. The whole world matched up in pairs, and Travis is left wandering alone in the night. Others would notice the breasts, the asses, the faces, but not Travis. He notices the girl's hand that rubs the hair on her boyfriend's neck, the hand that hangs lightly on his shoulder, the nuzzling kiss in the ear. Loneliness has followed me all my life. The life of loneliness pursues me wherever I go. In bars, cars, coffee shops, theaters, stores, sidewalks, there is no escape. I am God's lonely man. We match-cut the POV to another neighborhood later that night. Still, in slight slow motion, the crowds are more sparse, the streets are darker. A junkie shudders in a doorway. A wino pukes in a trash can. A streetwalker meets a prospective client. I'm not a fool. I will no longer fool myself. I will no longer let myself fall apart, become a joke and the object of ridicule. I know there is no longer any hope. I cannot continue this hollow, empty fight. I must sleep. What hope is there for me? Travis, his shirt fastened, stands beside his table. He lays a brief handwritten letter on the table, and we read it. Dear Iris, this money should be enough for your trip. By the time you read this, I will be dead. Travis stacks 5 crisp $100 bills beside the letter, folds them up with the letter, and puts them into an envelope. A short while later, Travis has cleaned up his apartment. Everything is neat and orderly. The camera pans across the room. The mattress is bare and flattened out. The floor is spotless. The cans and bottles of food and pills out of sight. The wall is still covered with Palatine political paraphernalia, but when we reach the desk, we see only 4 items: an open diary and 3 loaded revolvers, 44, 38, and 25. Travis, freshly shaved and neatly dressed, stands in the middle of his clean room. The empty holster hangs on his shoulder. The metal .25 gliders can be seen under the slit in his right sleeve. He turns toward the table. Travis, envelope in hand, closes the door behind him and walks down the corridor. He passes an ajar door, and we're surprised to see the room is empty and trashed. Travis lives in a decaying, if not condemned, building. Travis places the envelope to Iris in his mailbox. Back in the apartment, the camera closes on the revolvers lying on the table in a neat array. At the sound of the political rally, cheering, laughing, a band playing and talking, a crowd of 500 people is assembled beside a platform outside a Brooklyn Union Hall. A Dixieland band is playing on the platform. Charles Palatine's feet climb out of a limousine. There's a roar from a nearby crowd. Palatine, a bulky Secret Service man to the right and left of him, pushes his way through the crowd toward the platform. Still, cameras click and TV cameras purr. A slight time cut of Palatine speaking on the platform. Then, we cut to Travis's empty taxi. It sits parked a few blocks away from the rally. At this distance, the sounds are almost indistinguishable. Travis's boots walking. They make their way past one person, then 2, then a cluster of 3 or 4. The sounds of the rally are increasing. We see a full-figure shot of Travis. He's standing alone in an opening near the fringes of the crowd. Travis looks like the most suspicious human being alive. His hair is cropped short. He wears mirror-reflecting glasses. His face is pallid and drained of color. His lips are pursed and drawn tight. He looks from side to side. One can now see the full effect of Travis's lack of sleep and sufficient diet. He looks sick and frail. Even though it is a warm June day, Travis is bundled up in a shirt, sweater, and army jacket, buttoned from top to bottom. Under his jacket are several large lumps, causing his upper torso to look larger than it should. He's slightly hunched over, and his hands are shoved into his pockets. Anyone scanning the crowd would immediately light upon Travis and think, "There's an assassin." Travis pulls the vial of red pills from his pocket and swallows a couple. Secret Service man standing beside the platform, scanning the crowd. It's the same man Travis spoke to at the first rally. Tom, dressed in a conservative suit, stands beside him. Palantine is wrapping up his short speech. "And with your help, we will go on to victory at the polls Tuesday." Travis begins moving up into the crowd. "On to victory in Miami Beach next month." Building applause. "And on to victory next November." Palantine steps back, smiling, receiving the applause. Then, nodding at the Secret Service man, he descends the stairs and prepares to work his way through the crowd. Travis unbuttons the middle 2 buttons of his jacket, opening access to his holster. With the other hand, he checks the .44 hooked behind his back. Palantine smiles and shakes a few of the many outstretched hands toward him. The Secret Service man, scanning the crowd, spots something that interests him, and he looks closer. He sees Travis, his face intense, pushing his way through the crowd. Palantine makes his way through the crowds and cameras. The Secret Service man motions to the second and points in Travis's direction. Travis slips his hand into his jacket, and the Secret Service men converge on Travis from the side. Travis and Palantine draw closer to each other. The Secret Service man walking just behind Palantine grabs the candidate's hand and pulls him backward. Palantine looks sharply at him, who motions for him to take a slightly altered route. Travis sees this, and his eyes meet the Secret Service man. He recognizes the situation. To his right, he spots the second serviceman. Travis's eyes meet Palantine's. The candidate and would-be assassin exchange quick glances. Travis hastily works his way back through the crowd. He hears the Secret Service man's voice call out, "Detain that man!" Overhead shot reveals Travis has the jump on his pursuers. He is breaking free of the crowd while they are still mired in it. Travis, free of his pursuers, quickly makes his way down the sidewalk. The Secret Service men look futilely about. Travis jumps in his cab, sweat covering his face. The film is moving fast now. It pushes hard and straight towards its conclusion. We are moving toward the kill. Late afternoon, Travis's taxi skids around a corner and speeds into Manhattan. He checks his mail slot. The letter to Iris has already been picked up by the mailman. Travis, stripped to the waist, he walks back and forth across his apartment, wiping his torso with a bath towel. He begins dressing. He straps the army combat knife to his calf. He reflexes the metal gliders and the Colt 25 on his right forearm. Sport, standing in his driveway on the Lower East Side, shot with long-distance lens in the early evening. A pudgy, middle-aged white private cop walks up to Sport. The 2 men laugh, slap each other on the back, and exchange a soul shake. They discuss a little private business, and the private cop walks off in the direction of Iris's apartment. Travis straps on his holster and fits the .38 Special into it. The private cop walks down the block. Travis hooks the huge Magnum into the back of his belt. He puts on his army jacket and walks out his door. The private cop turns up darkened stairway to Iris's apartment. Night has fallen. Travis's taxi careens down 10th Ave. He speeds, honks, accelerates quickly. The glare of speeding yellow and red lights flash through the night. From his point of view, pedestrians attempt to flag down Travis's taxi, but quickly they step up onto the curb when they see Travis has no intention of stopping for anything. Sport maintains his post in the dark doorway. He waves to a girl who passes, and she waves back. Travis's taxi screeches to a stop and parks obliquely against the curb. Travis walks down the block to the doorway where Sport stands. The camera tracks with Travis. Without slowing, Travis walks up to Sport and puts his arm on his shoulder in a gesture of friendliness. "Hey, Sport, how are things?" He shrugs. "Okay, cowboy." He needles him. How are things in the pimp business, hey sport? What's going on? I'm here to see Iris. Iris? Travis pushes Sport back into the dark recesses of the corridor. What? Yeah, Iris. You know anybody by that name? No. A beat. Hillbilly, you better get your wise ass out of here and quick, or you're gonna be in trouble. Travis is propelled by an inner force, a force which takes him past the boundaries of reason and self-control. With restrained anger. You carry a gun? Sport looks into Travis's eyes and says nothing. He realizes the seriousness of the situation. Travis pulls his .38 special and holds it on Sport, pushing him even further back against the wall. Get it. Hey, mister. I don't know what's going on here. This don't make any sense. He demands. Show it to me. Sport reluctantly pulls a .32 caliber pistol, a purse gun, from his pocket and holds it limply. Travis sticks his .38 into Sport's gut and discharges it. There's a muffled blast, followed by a muted scream of pain. Now suck on that. Agony and shock cross Sport's face as he slumps to the floor. Travis turns and walks away before Sport even hits the ground. As Travis walks away, Sport can be seen struggling in the background. Travis, his gun slipped into his jacket, walks quickly up the sidewalk. Around the corner, he walks into a darkened stairway leading to Iris's apartment. As he walks up the stairs, Travis pulls the .44 Magnum from behind his back and transfers the .38 Special to his left hand. He walks up the steps, a pistol dangling from each hand. At the top of the stairs, Travis spots the old man sitting at the far end of the dark corridor. The old man starts to get up when Travis discharges the mighty .44 at him. Blam! The hallway reverberates with shockwaves and gunpowder. The old man staggers at the end of the corridor. His right hand has been blown off at the forearm. There's a sharp sound of a gunshot behind Travis. His face grimaces in pain. A bullet has ripped through the left side of his neck. Blood flows over his left ear. Travis's .44 flies into the air. He looks down the stairway, and Sport is lying there choking in a puddle of his own blood. He has struggled long enough to fire one shot. Falling, Travis drills another .38 slug into Sport's back, but Sport is already dead. Travis slumps to his knees. Down the corridor, the old man with a bloody stump is struggling toward him. Travis turns his .38 toward the old man. The door to number 2 opens, and Iris's scream is heard in the background. The bulky frame of the private cop fills the doorway. His blue shirt is open. In his hand hangs a .38 service revolver. The private cop raises his gun and shoots Travis. Travis, blood gushing from his right shoulder, sinks to the floor. His .38 clangs down the stairs. The old man grows closer. Travis smashes his right arm against the wall. Miraculously, the small Colt .25 glides down his forearm into his palm, and Travis fills the private cop's face full of bullet holes. The private cop, screaming, crashes back into the room. The old man crashes atop of Travis. The .25 falls from Travis's hand. Both men are bleeding profusely as they thrash into Iris's room. Iris hides behind the old red velvet sofa, her face frozen in fright. Travis, trapped under the heavy old man, reaches down with his right hand and pulls the combat knife from his right calf. Just as Travis draws back the knife, the old man brings his huge left palm crashing down on Travis. The old man's palm is impaled on the knife. He screams in pain. Police sirens are heard in the background. With great effort, Travis turns over, pinning the old man to the floor. The bloody knife blade sticks through his upturned hand. Travis reaches over with his right hand and picks up the revolver of the new dead private cop. Travis hoists himself up and sticks the revolver into the old man's mouth. The old man's voice is full of pain and ghastly fright. "Don't kill me! Don't kill me!" Iris screams in the background, and Travis looks up. "Don't kill him, Travis! Don't kill him!" Travis fires the revolver, blowing the back of the old man's head off, silencing his protests. The police sirens screech to a halt. Sound of police officers running up the stairs. Travis struggles up and collapses on the red velvet sofa, his blood-soaked body blending with the velvet. Iris retreats in fright against the far wall. First, uniformed police officers rush in the room, drawn guns in hand. Other policemen can be heard running up the stairs. Travis looks helplessly up at the officer. He forms his bloody hand into a pistol, raising it to his forehead, and his voice, croaking in pain, makes the sound of a pistol discharging. Pew! Pew! Out of breath, fellow officers join the first policeman. They survey the room. Travis's head slumps against the sofa. Iris is huddled in the corner, shaking. The live sound ceases, and an overhead slow-motion tracking shot surveys the damage. From Iris's shaking against the blood-spattered wall, to Travis, his blood-soaked body lying on the sofa, to the old man with half a head, a bloody stump for one hand, and a knife sticking out of the other. To police officers staring in amazement, to the private cop's bullet-ridden face trapped near the doorway, to the puddles of blood and a lonely .44 Magnum lying on the hallway carpet. Down the blood-specked stairs, on which lies the nickel-plated .38 Smith & Wesson Special, to the foot of the stairs, where Sport's body is hunched over in a pool of blood and a small .32 lies near his hand. To the crowds huddled around the doorway, held back by police officers. Past the red flashing lights, running policemen, and parked police cars. To the ongoing nightlife of the Lower East Side, curious but basically unconcerned, looking, then heading its own way. We fade to Travis's apartment. It is early fall. The trees are losing their leaves. A slow tracking shot across the apartment. It appears pretty much the same, although there is a new portable TV and an inexpensive easy chair. A track begins at the table and works across the room to the mattress. We see these items. On the table rests the diary, closed. A desk calendar stands on the table. It is October. Across the wall, where the Palatine clippings once hung, there are now a series of new newspaper clippings. Right to left, they read, the first is a full-back page from the New York Daily News. The headline reads, Cabbie battles gangsters. There are large photos of police standing in Iris's room after the slaughter, and a picture of Travis's cabbie mugshot. Underneath, there is a more discreet clipping without photo from the New York Times. Cabbie shootout, 3 dead. A follow-up story from the news, 2-column photos showing plain middle-aged couple sitting in middle-class living room. Parents express shock and gratitude. A 2-column daily news story without a photo. The headline reads, Taxi driver, hero to recover. A 1-column 2-paragraph news story stuck to an obscure page. Cabbie returns to job. At the end of the clippings, a letter is tacked to the wall. It is a simple letter, handwritten on plain white paper. The handwriting makes a conscious effort to appear neat and orderly. We recognize it is the same letter that is being read in voiceover. When we finally arrive at the mattress, we find it is barren. A pillow and blanket, new purchases, are folded at the head of the mattress. Throughout this track, we hear the voice of a middle-aged, uneducated man reading in voiceover. It is the voice of Iris's father, and he is reading a letter he sent to Travis, and which Travis has tacked to his wall. Dear Mr. Bickle, I can't say how happy Mrs. Steensma and I were to hear that you are well and recuperating. We tried to visit you at the hospital when we were in New York to pick up Iris, but you were still in a coma. There is no way we can repay you for returning our Iris to us. We thought we had lost her, but now our lives are full again. Needless to say, you are something of a hero around this household. I'm sure you want to know about Iris. She is back in school and working hard. The transition has been very hard for her, as you can well imagine, but we have taken steps to see she never has cause to run away again. In conclusion, Mrs. Steensma and I would like to again thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Unfortunately, we cannot afford to come to New York again to thank you in person, or we surely would. But if you ever come to Pittsburgh, you would find yourself a most welcome guest in our home. Our deepest thanks, Bert and Ivy Steensma. 4 cabs stand in line in front of the Plaza Hotel. Near the entrance, Travis and Wizard stand in the light talking. Travis's hair is almost fully grown back to its normal length. Travis wears the same clothes, cowboy boots, jeans, western shirt, army jacket, but he isn't wearing a gun. There's a thick scar on the left side of his neck. The Wizard is speaking. A private owner wanted to swap wheels. Now my tires are brand new. Give me a couple of days, I say. Charlie T parks his cab in line and walks toward Travis and Wizard. Howdy, Wizard. Killer? Charlie T points his pistol/finger at Travis, fires and says, "Pow," and laughs. He's casually joking. Don't mess with the killer. Travis smiles. Hey, Charlie T. How is it, Charlie? Hey, Travis, I think you got a fare. They all turn. The doorman closing the rear door of Travis's taxi. Shit! He runs off. Take it slow, killer. Travis waves back at Charlie T and Wizard as he runs around the cab and jumps in the driver's seat. His taxi pulls away. A female voice says, 34 East 56th Street. Travis recognizes the voice. He looks in the rearview mirror. It's Betsy. Travis says nothing. He heads toward 56th Street. After a silence, Betsy speaks. Hello, Travis. Hello, Betsy. There is an uneasy pause. I see where Palatine got the nomination. Yes, it won't be long now. 17 days. Well, I hope he wins. There's another pause. How are you, Travis? I read about you in the papers. Oh, I got over that. It was nothing really. The papers always blow these things up. A little stiffness, that'll go away. I just sleep more, that's all. Travis's taxi pulls up to 34 East 56th Street. Here we are. Betsy digs in her purse. Travis protests. No, please. The fare's on me. Please. Thank you, Travis. Betsy gets out of the cab and stands by the right front window, which is open. Travis prepares to drive away. Travis? Yeah? Maybe I'll see you again sometime, huh? Travis's thin smile. Sure. Betsy steps away from the curb and Travis drives off. She watches his taxi. The camera follows Travis's taxi as it slowly disappears down 56th Street. The end. Thanks for listening today, guys. If you made it to the end, comment below with your favorite quote from the movie. Please recommend another movie reading that you'd like to hear in the future. I try and get to those comments, those requests as quick as I can. Obviously, these take hours to make, so it could really help me out. Do everything you can to help the channel if you believe in this cause. See you guys in the next movie reading.